Spoilers of the Damned.
Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned podcast, episode number 35, season 3, episode 1, as we're confusingly titling it. And viewers who are listening probably won't notice any difference in quality, but anyone watching on YouTube will notice a severe drop in quality because you can now see us. Hello.
Hey, I'm gorgeous.
I kind of want to hire someone
Stop
who
it.
just sits in the corner and does the voice readings for like people who can't see. So like it'll go, Chris scratches his beard, Matt looks over approvingly, sort of the whole time just for 2 hours. But yeah, if you're interested in the role, please send me your CV, I guess. We're off to a brilliant start already.
You might actually get somebody.
Well, I might. In this climate, I expect to get about 40 CVs.
Thanks, Brexit.
Yeah. Anyway, how you guys been? Because this is actually, I think, about 3 or 4 months since our last recorded episode. Now,
since July, at least, because I came back from the Philippines and we weren't going to do anything until after that. Yeah. So I came back around July 14th, I think.
The current state as we record of podcasts is that we have a load on ice that are ready to be released, or almost ready to be released, and they will be. Season 2 is kind of like our lost season, I think.
The Lost Levels.
Yeah, the Lost Levels. So they'll kind of get released when and where, and then Season 3 will be coming out brand spanking new after all that has been released. But actually, we recorded it in September, and it's probably going to be out, hopefully, in October. So, that's the skinny on that. Anyway.
Okay.
So, it's been a rather long time. Have you guys been doing anything interesting? Or things you want to talk about and bring to show and tell?
Nothing interesting. Just been sitting in my room, thinking about things that aren't interesting.
I guess I'll go then. Well, marvellous. I played through The Last of Us again.
Oh, right.
Because I had it downloaded on my PS4 and just fancied playing it again because I had nothing else to play at the time. It's still good. It's not perfect. It's got a lot of problems. A lot of problems I had with it. But it's still really good.
What difficulty did you play on, out of interest?
Normal.
Oh, okay.
Because I just wanted to get through the game. Because I'm not a masochist.
Yeah, I find that the first time I was playing it through, it was really hard, and so I went with easy, and then ever since then, I've every time I've replayed it, I've tried to take it up one more difficulty than the last one I was on. It gets so bad.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine it gets painful.
That's basically my problem with the game, is that it's a really good setting, really good story, wrapped up in a mediocre game that doesn't know how to scale difficulty correctly. And also, like, the physics of it, when you fire the gun, any gun, it feels like your gun doesn't really hit the cursor depending on the range of the target. You know, like if they're up close, your cursor has to kind of be like up and to the left of them so that the gun's barrel actually kind of points at them. It's really kind of difficult to explain, but I definitely felt it most when you're hanging upside down and I couldn't hit anything. And I'm like, what the?
Everyone's favourite scene.
Yeah, and it's like that's like a scene that I don't think anybody would ever want to do again. You know, and for me, like, a good game is a game that you'd want to play again, and I would just never. I would think, oh, I could play what's it called again? The Last of Us. I could play The Last of Us again, or I could not and avoid that scene and the frustration that follows it. You know, just like, I'll do something else. That's how I feel about Last of Us. Though I do want to beat it at least once. I just haven't done that yet.
Well, it's things like, I do enjoy it. I still really enjoy it, but the thing is, just walking around and exploring and looking at things is far more enjoyable than any of the stealth or combat. Any of that. The setting's great. The enemy's great. Like, the whole cordyceps thing is just fantastic.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Especially you think when it came out as well. And we still have a lot of zombie games now, but back then, back towards the tail end of the last gen, there was so many zombie games. So many, and the fact that still stands head and shoulders above them in terms of just making it feel original and completely different, even though it's basically the same thing, because there's just small little tweaks to it, and it's a real world thing as well that affects insects. Just really revitalised the whole thing. So hopefully the second one's really good, because the gameplay trailer I saw for it looked really automated and did the thing that I absolutely hate with gameplay trailers, when everything just goes perfectly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not excited for Spider-Man.
You just can't tell how much of it's orchestrated. I cancelled my pre-order for Spider-Man, not particularly because of anything it did, although recently it's coming to light that there are sort of some graphical downgrades. I thought to myself, I don't have a lot of money at the moment. Is Spider-Man something that I'm going to enjoy for £60? Probably not. Or $60, whatever. Or am I going to enjoy it if I pick it up for, say, $20? I don't know, in February next year. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Or when it becomes free on PS Plus or something.
Yeah.
know?
PS Plus, exactly.
Well, yeah, I just pick up what's on PS Plus and kind of play that because it's free, sort of free. So I recently got the Ratchet and Clank remake. Now I know I've been doing my research, and although I haven't played the original Ratchet and Cranks, Ratchet and Crank. Although I haven't played the originals, I gather that the remake is not very good, and that there are some aspects where it isn't good, especially the story, actually, because they tried to tie it in with that weird movie remake they did. All of the cutscenes feel really abrupt and weird, and they don't explain anything properly because they are just snippets of the film. But gameplay-wise, I think, although I haven't played the original, the core gameplay was great. So I blasted through that because it was free. So.
Well, it was cheap when it came out as well. Like, it was only like 20-25 quid, I think, when it came out.
Oh, okay.
Which is, impressive considering the you're right about the cutscenes.
Yeah.
But the gameplay itself still felt like Ratchet and Clank, and it was still Ratchet and Clank 1. But all the levels were still there.
Mostly. There were a couple missing, apparently, because I found this really... I think it's the Gaming Brit Show. I'm not sure if that's his name or not, but there was someone who made like an hour and a half long video on YouTube going through all the differences, and of course, I'm like, I watch more YouTube than I play games now, so I need something on in the background for doing XYZ chore, so I usually find a video and go, an hour and a half, brilliant, I'll put that on.
An hour and a half about Ratchet and Clank. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, and
this texture's different.
Yep. That was pretty much it, but it was interesting because I was in the process. I was about halfway through playing this remake, and I was interested. What's changed, what hasn't, and that kind of thing. But I mean that's not really horror, unless you count bad cutscenes as horror.
Sylvester Stallone. That is to keep Sylvester Stallone away from my Ratchet and Clank. That's all I ask.
Oh yes, he was
He's
in the movie, wasn't he? Yes.
Yep. It's weird.
What?
It's really weird.
How about what? So Sylvester Stallone had something to do with Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah,
he's like one of the enforcer bots. I think it was like one of the head security bots. It's weird.
That's not. I mean, I guess it's weird. I mean,
and if you played the game, you wouldn't know. Like literally, you have no idea.
Oh, so he was acting.
Yeah.
Well, as much as Stallone can these days.
But the really annoying thing while you're playing that Ratchet and Clank remake is that every time one of those cutscenes comes on that is a snippet of the movie, the PS4 does this thing because it's recording the whole time in case you want to share something. It comes up and says gameplay blocked because entering a copyrighted scene, and
always takes you out of any
every
immersion.
10 seconds. Like
it's annoying. Because it's annoying because especially it did that a lot with I think it did that with The Last of Us a few times as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
something else I was playing. Where was I playing? But whenever it does that, it always immediately just takes you out of the moment.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, of course you're playing again, but when you're getting really into it, and then you're you can't do this. Oh yeah, you've broken it. Cheers. I was getting really into that. My concentration was fully on this, and now I'm being reminded that everything is recorded.
All the time.
Everything.
It strikes me as especially redundant because 99% of the people who are using that feature, I would imagine, are showing off something they've just done in gameplay, so they're not going to think of using it in a cutscene anyway. I don't see why you would go, oh yeah, I must share that cutscene because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, we want you to stream things, but don't stream the cutscenes. Which is weird. That's a strange mentality. Like, don't stream it, it's got spoilers. It will spoil it for the people that are watching you play the game.
Yeah. It's like, I understand where they're coming from because they made a thing and they want the people to experience the thing. Like they wanted them to experience it, kind of like if you had a D&D campaign and then somebody read the module that you just bought that you're playing the D&D campaign from, and they already know everything, and now like the experience is destroyed and whatever. But like on a video game scale, when you're developing a video game, you're gonna have to, in this day and age, know that people are going to stream it, they're going to record it, and there's going to be an audience of people who want to watch that stuff because they either don't have the money, don't have the patience, don't really have any interest in video games besides the art or the music or just like the experience of it, but they don't want to get to the point where it's like, I have to hold R trigger and then press these buttons here and do all this stuff for a cool combo. I just want to see it done, you know? It's like, you have these people though who develop games and they're just so anal about it that you get the thing where it's like, don't stream the cutscenes or we will ban you from Twitch. Wasn't it like Persona 5? Wasn't that?
Oh,
that was supposed to be?
Atlas were just like they were.
Like, I heard that one
on
story, and I just imagine that there's a guy back there who's like, they can't share it, then they won't experience it. And,
It's that whole
stop enjoying our game. No.
It's that whole false equivalency that comes along with things like emulation as well, where companies will treat it as a lost sale, even though actually I can't get hold of Tasmania on the Mega Drive through any like legitimate channels, so you know, I could play it and we could have some fun, or you know, at the very least sell it to me. I mean, don't even get me started on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 4 at the moment in terms of all the classics that I could be playing, that I would pay good money for, to be able to, you know, like I'm a bit stupid. I didn't read before I got my PS4. I thought when I bought my PS4 it would open a doorway into all of the PS1 games I wanted to play, and it's been a rude awakening. I picked up Max Payne, but even that was expensive for a PS2 port. So
yeah, and you could just get it on PC dirt cheap as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely dirt cheap. It's weird. It's the whole emulation saga, especially with Nintendo, is just, it's weird because for a lot of people it's the only way that they can actually play any of these old games, because older retro games are becoming far more expensive because people realise that there's a want for them. People actually want these things. Like I've started collecting, but the thing is that it doesn't even make any sense because Nintendo aren't getting a fucking profit from it anyway.
Yeah, that's the most mind-blowing thing is they don't see a penny from that.
No.
While if
so
they,
stupid.
yeah. Now I understand there are problems with rights and everything, and sometimes it must be hard to find who actually kind of like owns copyrights and who gets what percentage and stuff. But they worked it out for the PS3, so I don't understand why they can't do it for the PS4. It seems a bit mind-blowing.
Maybe term limits or something, some sort of contract that ends in some number of years, so that when the PS4 came out, it was like past that time they'd have to renegotiate, but all that stuff still exists on the PS3, so. You know?
Yeah.
I just think they're all bastards.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that annoys me the most.
You have to put it on your resume when you apply for any of these jobs. I'm a bastard.
Oh, you are a bastard, Mr. Jones. Right, come right in. Marvelous.
Yeah. I see you were chief bastard for 5 years.
Chief bastard.
Yeah, no, don't get me started, because I've been kind of listening to Harry Potter on audiobooks recently, and I'm not one of these Tumblrkins who self-identify as a house, but I did do the test, and I am a Slytherin, which is somewhat expected. So every time they mention Slytherin, in my head, I kind of like, my brain goes, evil shit bastards. It's Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and evil shit bastards
Slytherin,
who live in the dungeon, and they're all bastards. Then, you know, there wasn't anyone who was evil who didn't come out of there. You know, so
yeah.
We know you're evil, so we're going to put you with the rest of the evil people, because possibly
so
go
you
wrong?
can make connections.
Yeah, nothing could possibly go wrong. Oh, they've overthrown and killed everyone. Oh,
Yeah, so when you guys say, like, Chief Bastard, I'm thinking, yeah, I was in Slytherin if I'd ever been there, you know. Qualified.
Bastards together.
Yeah.
Speaking of dungeons, this has nothing to do with dungeons, but you're talking about things that we've been doing recently, and I kind of forgot one of the most fun things I've been doing recently is playing Hexen II, which kind of has something to do with dungeons.
Okay, that's like an old, like, it's like an FPS?
Yes.
It's on the Doom engine, I think. The first one was on the Doom engine. Not that much.
Actually, wow, you guys don't know Hexen II at all. All right.
No, my brother
Cool.
was really,
I know the first one.
Yeah, my brother was into all those kind of like old FPSs, and I've seen him play Hexen, but not Hexen 2.
Yeah. For me, like, I got in on Hexen when it first came out. I'm old enough to have done that. And when Hexen 2 came out, I was like, oh my god, this looks so great. I remember Hexen 1 being awesome, even though I've never gotten past the first level. Because the way Hexen was built, like, it was a new design feature at the time of making hub levels. So you have like a central starting point and it just branches out and that kind of stuff. And the puzzle solution for this area is actually in this area here, and you have to go through different portals and gates to get to these different areas and then go there. And remember that this has like a missing mask on it. So then you have that mask over in this area over here. You have to go, oh wait, I have to go back to this place. But if you don't remember that, you're going in loops for like an hour, 3 hours, 17 hours, and you haven't done your homework yet and your mom's mad at you. So that's basically Hexen 1. Hexen 2 is similar, but it's in 3D. It's more like the Quake engine, but I think Ravensoft made their own engine for it, so I'm not entirely sure on that. But it worked out pretty good. The thing that I liked about it, though, they had different character classes for an FPS. That was a big new change. And there was a Necromancer class who used a scythe, because obvious, even though using a scythe as a weak necromancer would be like clumsy and unwieldy at best. He's like, I'm gonna get you. But when you get your first like weapon, which is a book with a magic missile spell in it, he actually holds it out and then he has his hands on it like that, and he just casts spells, and it was really cool.
He makes it rain spells.
Yeah. Open your mouth, anyway.
Be gone, thought.
But the other cool thing is that when he gets his next spell, he has the same book, but he flips the page without touching it, and then he starts casting bone shards and stuff, which is like a shotgun kind of attack. And it was just really, really good. I just had so much fun with it, though, because for once, instead of playing the Necromancer like an old wizard who's like frail physically but powerful magically, which that game is not designed with that in mind at all. You need everything you find. You need every potion, you need every bit of mana, all of your resources, your discs of repulsion, your tomes of power, everything to survive, especially if you play it on hard mode. And but what I used to do is like I'd walk in an FPS and I couldn't dodge anything, and I'm like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to play. But now that I've gone back to it, I turned auto run on and I just ran past enemies like speedrun strats in my head. Yeah, I was just like, magic missiles over there. Grab this thing. It was awesome. But still in my head, I could roleplay it like maybe he just had like an enervated
Chris gestures
spell,
wildly. Sorry, just filling in for the audio cast.
I got this.
Right. Oh man, but it's just so much fun. And it's like you can't. I don't know if it's because of nostalgia. It probably is. I'm sure it has some effect on it. But I can't like get into modern day FPSs in the same way, because all the design features are chiseled down to like a point where it's like this is what's universally accepted to be liked, and we can't do anything deviating, because then they'll get mad at us and they won't buy our game, and then we won't make any money. So, you know, it's like, ugh. And it's like Hexen 2 is a game that when I was playing it, I realized that I couldn't wait to play it again.
That's always a very good sign.
Yeah.
Always a good sign.
I mean, each character class actually has abilities that unlock as you level up, but you don't actually have to level up because you don't get stronger, you just get different abilities, and they don't even like outbalance the game. The Necromancer sometimes maybe like a 5% chance you can get like a health globe when he kills somebody. or he can use his scythe and get health back from it. So if you actually have to use your scythe, you don't take all the damage and then sit on it. Sometimes you get your health back. That's it. The rest of it is using your resources, and there's a lot of resources. You're like an artifact mage, really, because you have like potions, Tome of Power, Disc of Repulsion, a chalice that refills your mana, the Mystic Urn. There's a Glyph of Destruction or something like that operates differently depending on what class you chose. So with the Necromancer, it's like a floating landmine that homes in. So you can just, like, if you have like imps or demons or whatever flying around you, just drop a few of them and run away, and then and it just feels awesome.
Just carry around like big esoteric bag of shit. Like, this is the Holy Grail.
Big Santa Claus bag, yeah. Oh man, and like traps, and I don't know. It just really hits me like right there while I'm playing it. I'm like, this is fun. I'm actually having fun again. I'm not playing a game for dailies. I'm not grinding for experience and loot, which doesn't really matter. Like, I've been playing Destiny 2 lately as well, and I'm not gonna say it's great. It's just a really beautiful shooter, and it's kind of hard to go away from it because it's really pretty. It's really, really pretty. It's so pretty. Anyway,
it does look good.
And God, it's like my brother and his wife and I were playing together, and it's like they wanted me to start on a quest that gave me low level gear that, as I completed objectives, became higher level gear, and then even higher level gear, and then that'd be the highest you can get before the expansion hits. One of the objectives is to get super kills in the PvP mode Crucible, and on average I would get maybe 1.5 per match, and I needed 30. So it's like I'd have to do 30 matches, and if I got lucky, that would be it. Or maybe 50 or 60 matches, and like about 20 matches in, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't the game that I want to play. I could, in the same amount of time, I could have started and beaten Assassin's Creed 1. That's like the horrifying part of it. I could have had an experience where I have had danger and discovery and adventure instead of Destiny.
See, that's the thing, is that I'd much rather have a game that's got replay value or is just fun to replay, as opposed to content for the sake of content, because there is such a thing as too much content, especially when it's just go here, okay, I've gone here, shoot the things, I've done that 20 times already, well, do it again then. But it's different because you're in a different area. Like,
especially nowadays with the kind of like, it's not an overcrowded market, but it's compared to when we were kids and stuff. And I had the time to go and collect 100 flags in Assassin's Creed or something like that. It's like nowadays, it's like, I literally, it kind of would be fun, but I would also have to use a guide. So, no.
Yeah, and you're constantly looking down at your phone. You go, this isn't fun, fucking boring.
Yeah,
it's like
you lose the discovery.
Yeah, it was like everyone going, "Oh my god, Rage 2!" Like, did you play Rage? Why are people excited about that? Rage was not a good game. Rage was painfully average.
I totally accept what you're saying, and I'm not excited about Rage 2 at all. But I will just mention Andrew WK. There you go.
Means nothing.
Like, that's something it's got going for it.
It's got some musics.
Did you watch the E3 coverage, Chris?
No.
Oh, Andrew WK just turned up and played a song.
Oh.
I guess like his music's in the game.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh man, I've got to get the game now.
Yeah. Or I could just buy his album.
And listen to it on YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean I don't have to buy the game to listen to the song? What year is this?
What year is this?
That's the thing. It's like I'm kind of at the point now where I'm a bit sick and tired of sandbox games. I really am.
Yeah.
I'll never get tired of Rockstar sandbox games because they've always known how to do it. And Rockstar don't really make bad games. But it's just Ubisoft are the main culprits in this. Like most of their game series are all open.
And what I will say is that the Rockstar ones specifically have a very defined, interesting single player, like as a backbone to the whole thing.
It's like here's a single player game, and you can fuck around as much as you want to.
Yeah.
but here's a single player anyway. You could just some people don't even fuck around in the sandbox in like GTA and that. They just play the story. The story has missions. You can do things that are fun. And the thing with Rockstar as well is obviously the elder GTAs like 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. While all of them are still very good, a lot of their missions were just drive here, mission end, or drive here, shoot thing, pick up car, drive back again. But as they've gone along, mainly 4 onwards, all the missions is always like it's always something different to do. Not all the missions are just shoot the dude. It's do this, pick up this thing, do this really fun thing, make this crane go up and down, drop the car on someone. Like it's always, and they did the same thing in Red Dead Redemption as well.
Red Dead's the only pre-order I've kept for this second half this year.
I'm so excited for that. Crazy excited for that.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, are you getting on PS4? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can we do like a posse thing?
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, I could.
Obviously.
I actually haven't bothered to even look at it, much less pre-order it. Mostly because like I still have Red Dead Redemption 1, and I got really close to beating that one. I got to the plot twist at the end where the characters change, and I enjoyed it. But I stopped playing then because I had a roommate who was also playing it. I didn't want him to see me playing as a different character.
Oh shit! Yeah. So
and then I just never went back to it.
No. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, there isn't an awful lot in that. It's very much a kind of like a coda at the end of the game, like an epilogue
it's just because it's just. Here is a character you can play as to do all the other things that you may not have finished as the other character.
Yeah.
And then he does have something right at the end, which is quite good. Which is really satisfying as well as a player.
Yeah, so. I really like that. Like they gave that character a full voice suite to replace the previous character. Like he wasn't just like a slap model or whatever. He was that person. And he had the same mannerisms. He had like a different look. I mean, it was really great. I was like, wow, man, like Rockstar, you guys are killing this.
Yeah, it's like it's only a character that has like maybe 3 cutscenes, really.
Yeah.
And it's just there to mop up all the side activities. But yeah, you're right. Like they gave him a whole new look, voice actor, everything.
Yeah, they know how to do. Like Rockstar knows how to do 100%.
Yeah, they know how to do it. They know how to make it fun, which Ubisoft don't, because they shit their games out.
Yeah, the last Ubisoft thing I played was Far Cry 5, and I've enjoyed it, but I haven't finished it, and it is a lot of busy work. It is just like blow these things up, kill these things. And half the time I just go, no, I just want to jack a plane, fly into the middle of nowhere and jump out and go, wee, as I'm flying down.
Make the missions fun. Like, I think the last Ubisoft game I played all the way through was Watch Dogs.
Okay.
And that was because I had nothing else to play, because that was a tedious experience. It's just boring. Like, I don't know how they made it boring. You hack stuff and you like, you're being chased by the cops and you can like change the traffic lights, and the best power up is turning off all the electricity in like a 30-mile radius. So it's at night and you're getting chased and you've got the helicopter following you. Push a button, all the lights in the city go off, and you can just run away. But somehow they still made it boring. I don't know how they made it boring, but they did.
Yeah. Wow. I have an unpopular opinion here, actually, now we're talking about boring. I bought Bereft of the Wild while I was in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's nodding. But I'm not.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, this shit's boring.
Yes, it really
Breath
is.
of the Wild was fucking boring. I didn't get very far. Huh?
But I think it's very much, to me, I think it's a case of make your own fun with that game, which is not, in some ways could be argued as a good thing, other ways, very much a bad thing. It's kind of like, oh, well, thanks, game, now I've got to go out and do it myself. It's kind of like Sea of Thieves, I guess, from what I hear of it. It's pretty much what
it's not as bad as that.
What?
Let's not go that far. I've heard many horrible things about Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty much
literally
kind of
nothing to do.
You guys, we kind of have to pretend and go, oh yes, we're pirates and we're doing piratey things, from our heads. But
let's fight the Kraken. You get nothing for it.
Oh great, really?
Yeah,
apparently you get like fuck all for killing the Kraken. Or you do it for like tentacles.
You don't even get a Kraken after killing the Kraken. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, should we just be able to pull it
surface? It doesn't even surface. It's tentacles just come and go. Ugh.
Yeah, we just put a thing in it and it's gone.
Wow.
Fucking Kraken.
I don't know anything about Sea of Thieves, but with Breath of the Wild though, like I was playing it, and it's like it's a beautiful game. I do like the horses. The horses are cool. I like taming one. You know, I named mine Resting Bitch Face because it always made me like. It was like looking at me like.
Yeah.
You know, and and like when I would fight some moblins or whatever they're called, I would get their weapons, but then I'd have a backpack full of weapons to fight the next group of moblins, which I'd break on those moblins, and then I would have to take their weapons, or I could just not do it at all because it's like you don't get anything out of it.
Or if you're like me, you go around doing all the shrines you can find. You get a backpack full of high gear that's really, really strong, and you don't want to use it on anything. So
exactly.
It's
that problem of a lot of games have it. It's like especially because the weapons break. I was saying it to me and my friend. I did finish it. I did enjoy some of it, but a lot of it was really boring and tedious. Especially when I had to climb something to progress the story, but I couldn't because it was raining.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Painful. Oh, you can't. You keep sliding. I just want to play the game. Stop.
Can I skip cutscene here? It's not a cutscene. What are you doing?
It's like just let me play the game. Stop punishing me for wanting to progress the story. But that's the problem. It's like because if the weapons broke, and then you could repair them, like after battle, like if you had some resources and you can like put some swords together, it'd be fine. Because like Tom said, the problem is you get like these really powerful two-handed swords or even these like knight swords, and it's like, oh, I shouldn't use them because I might need them.
Yeah.
And then you never fucking use them.
Yeah, so at least you shouldn't use them on moblins.
Weapons. Like you could take older shit ones and put them into one to make them like a stronger new one.
Just gave you a reason to pick them up as well.
Should have had something like that basically.
Yeah, if you could just like repair them. Just anything.
Or just
like that.
not have a durability problem. I mean,
well,
no other Legend of Zelda game has that because you get the sword
like...
and then you get the Master Sword, and the Master Sword shouldn't break. But in Breath of the Wild, I know it doesn't break. It just like loses its potency or something. And I'm like,
my sword sucks.
Yeah, I mean, make it like be the only weapon that doesn't break and is always persistently good and all that kind of stuff. Make it worth getting so you could explore without feeling like you need to break all your weapons doing it. Just do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Master Sword couldn't possibly do more damage than, say, a giant two-handed hammer. When you think about it, pound for pound, I believe the hammer would probably do more damage than the Master Sword, especially against a biological target.
Yeah.
You know,
like, I'm pretty sure if I squash this thing, it's going to hurt it more if I stab it.
Yeah, it might recover from the stabbing.
It's evil's bane.
But if I push it into the ground forcefully with a giant hammer, then maybe it won't get back out again.
I think that's what made it worse for me, is that there was a lot of elements in it I really enjoyed, but there was a lot of stuff that just got on my nerves.
Yeah.
A lot of it felt like busy work at times.
Yeah. It felt
like busy work.
I'm also playing Hyrule Warriors on the Switch, which I like a lot. The adventure mode, though, like has you going from like a grid system, and I like it, but every time it's like, you've unlocked this spot. Okay, cool, I unlocked that spot. You have to search here with an item to get the true items that are in this area. But to do that, you need bombs, and like I don't have any bombs. Well, you need to go buy bombs. Okay, I'll go back and buy bombs. But you haven't found any bombs yet, so there's no bombs in the shop. So you can't go buy bombs. So you have to actually go and unlock a square that rewards you with a bomb, so that the bomb shop the shop will actually sell a bomb. And it's like that for like all 8 items that you need. So it's like, you can't just fucking adventure.
That's the point, actually. That's happened in previous Zeldas as well. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, we're completely sold out of this item.
Yeah.
Sold out of arrows?
I brought you some sticks.
Some wood.
Could you? Would you kindly?
One of the things I did like... Oh, that's foreshadowing. It's one of the things I did like about Breath of the Wild is that they removed... they made your bombs so that you had unlimited bombs.
That was
things like
cool.
that.
Because they've always been very useful for obvious things. I liked some of the abilities you got. Just, I don't know. Just something that just always felt like it... For me, it felt like it almost got there, but then there was just too much holding it back for me. And I don't know, like all the other Zeldas, I've played through all of them except Skyward Sword because the motion controls just piss me off. But because of the motion controls, you couldn't control the camera, which is always fun when you've got like 5 archers up above you in different locations.
Oh wow!
And
You can't control the camera in
really
this day and age.
All of them, except Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, I would play through and have played through before. But with Breath of the Wild, I don't look at it and I think I'd like to play through that again, because the story didn't really grip me enough. I didn't care enough.
Yeah.
And the last boss was such a joke. Like, I mean, that's the thing about Zelda games. The final boss has always been quite easy, but the final boss in that was, they kept building him up as like this massive threat, like he's like the biggest threat ever. And I didn't even come close to dying once against him. I had more problems with his minions, like those big scary bastards, like not Minotaurs, the
Lionels?
The centaurs. They're like centaurs.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Centaurs? Yeah, really, really strong ones.
Lions,
I've heard about it.
something like that.
Yeah. They always kick my ass, but Calamity Ganon? Nah, easy peasy, he got his Master Sword.
Yeah.
Robot's more dangerous than he was. He sucked.
I basically like the gameplay loop of climbing to a top of a thing, mapping the area, flying to all the shrines I can find, and then once I butted up against extreme heat or extreme cold, go another way until eventually I did have to deal with those sections as well. We've literally listed my 3 bugbears with Breath of the Wild. Number 1 is weapons, number 2 is rain, and number 3 is that the story didn't feel integrated enough.
Yeah.
And
like,
number 4 is music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is because Wind Waker had fantastic music from beginning to end. When you get to the Dragon Roost Island or whatever, and you have that really cool like dun 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 dun, you know, kind of thing, that was amazing. I was like, oh, I could just stand here and listen to this. And then when I play Wind Waker, I think about going back to that place because I can hear it again. You know, there's like no music in Breath of the Wild. I'm just like,
yeah. A lot of it's just reused from previous games. Because yeah, you're right. Like the music, Wind Waker in particular. I mean, I think. Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker, all 4 of those have the soundtracks are amazing. Twilight Princess is pretty good as well, and Skyward Sword had its moments. But in those games, like you could just hear the track, and instantly you're flooded with memories of what the area was like, what the characters were like. Like you can
may
hear
even want to go back.
You can hear the Kakiri Forest. You hear that music, and you instantly remember the opening cutscene when the camera's swooping around.
I had that the other day with Majora's Mask. I was listening to some music on a YouTube video, and I was, that's the observatory in Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
and
the
if
observatory
you
music.
Remember it, it's playing in your head right now.
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
beautiful.
Yeah.
And then there's the old guy there. You can look through. That's when
you look through it, you see him,
comes out.
and then the thing comes down. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like dancing on top of him. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. But in Breath of the Wild, I can't really remember any of the music except I know some of it was like reused.
I was guilty quite often because I really enjoyed the gameplay loop of finding stuff and just walking around and climbing things. I would quite often listen to something else while I was doing it, like podcasts or audiobooks or things like that.
Yeah, there is that.
So I'm glad I wasn't missing much.
But that's why I think Breath of the Wild just truly failed as a Zelda game. It didn't have any of the elements of a previous Zelda game except for a Link and a Zelda and the specific races and stuff. But
I like what it did for exploration. I feel it was an answer to the fact that, especially although I haven't played it, but I gather Skyward Sword was probably the most linear Zelda. So
you couldn't even link. There wasn't even a link because obviously you're in the sky for that's like the hub world. But what it made I said to my friend at the time when we were playing, like what it did that pissed me off so much was that it made the world feel so much smaller than it was. Because if you went down to like the forest area, you couldn't just keep going and then go to the mountain area and then like the water area, wherever it was. Like you're like, oh okay, well I've done this. So I need to go back to there now. Better fly back up into the sky or fly around. Then you go to one of the designated areas for that location. Then you fly down. And because of that,
fall down.
So it doesn't feel like
this is gonna go well
world at all. It just feels like separate worlds.
It felt, they all felt like it's almost like, you know, it's like the worlds in Kingdom Hearts. Whereas the point in that is that they are supposed to be very small because like these little small versions of them, because it's all going all weird and stupid. But that was okay. Like in Kingdom Hearts, it was fine because it was supposed to be little extracts of that world because they were under attack by the Heartless and all that shit. But in Skyward Sword, it just always felt very linear, felt very closed off. The world didn't feel alive, and that's another problem I had with Breath of the Wild. Was they kept talking about, oh, well, there was the fall of the kingdom and Calamity Ganon. Like everyone seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, that was There was no kind of oppressive atmosphere at all.
Exactly. They're just like. We're like, oh, we're just doing things like normal. Welcome to Kakariko Village.
You kind of have to love how hands off
we've got food.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's like, oh yeah, you deal with that.
Zelda's trapped, and you need to go help her. But it's cool. You could go collect some apples first, or something.
Yeah. Do you want to, maybe cook first? No, go maybe buy some things.
Yeah.
What is that? Also,
like
the assassins. Also known as the worst assassins in the world. It's like, I look like someone who's an ally. Haha, I am not your ally. I'm going to take this clothing off now. On guard! Not very good assassins.
That happens. Assassins. Wow.
It's like a Solid Snake ran up. She was like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Can I stab some necks?" Just took his cardboard box
Have
off.
You
Like,
seen
oh,
my
you
box?
found me.
Yeah, look what I've got. Isn't it cool? I just wear it like a hat and sit down.
Stupid. I did like the fact that the Master Sword could kill you if you tried to pull it out before having enough health.
What?
It's like, I'm gonna get it. Oh no, heart's gone. I liked that. That was quite funny. I like to think that countless knights have tried to come and lift it out, and the Deku Tree's like, "Can you stop this?
Okay.
Because you keep dying."
Yeah.
Maybe that's why no one else has done anything.
When you said pull out the Master Sword, I thought you meant like draw it, not
that
pull
would
it
be
from
really
the stone.
Could
like you didn't have enough hearts?
Do you know? You both might know. There was an armor set in Twilight Princess that was really good armor, but it drained your rupees.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So if you didn't have the maximum, like the biggest rupee pouch and 999 rupees, it was worthless. Because as soon as it's like the best armor, but as soon as your rupees drain, you can't really move in it. It's like and you have to go through like a really tough dungeon to do it, to get it.
Yeah.
It's like thank you for nothing.
To be fair, the rupees are worthless too.
At least they had some worth. I will say they had some worth in Breath of the Wild at least. That you actually spent more things.
You find one, and it's like, ah!
I've got one! I can sleep at the inn again.
They're eating it. It's never leaving me.
I can sleep at the inn again. It's great. I can call my
I'm going to cook this with some mushrooms.
The cooking was fun. There are elements, but again, it's
I felt I was being punished by the Master Sword because I put pretty much all of my seeds into getting
the hearts.
No, the stamina. So
so
I could explore and climb things, and even brute force my way through rainy places and stuff. I put everything into stamina, and then I find this thing. It's like, oh, you've got to have like 12 hearts or something to pick it out. It's like, okay. Yeah. Bye-bye, see you later.
You should have had 12 hearts or 12 stamina or something, so you wouldn't be punished whatsoever.
What?
Or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it should have...
I'm saying one or the other, whichever one you put points in.
It would drain one first and then start draining the other one.
Yeah.
That'd be the best way around it. Because otherwise, you're just like, well, I've just done all of the really easy challenges and little 10 mini-temples, so now I've got to do the really tough ones, and I don't have the equipment to deal with that, so...
Quit game, delete game.
Like, oh, you didn't know that? Oh, you dummy.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that was a little bit disappointed. Disappointed.
It was bad. It was bad.
That was my problem. It's not necessarily like a really bad game. It's still good. But with the way everyone reacted to it, you would have thought it was the next Ocarina of Time, the next Majora's Mask, the next Wind Waker. Everyone's like, oh, 10s and 9s, it's masterpiece, best game.
I thought it was great.
It's okay.
But in my head, that means 8 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like when they start going, 10 out of 10, like 9, it better be one of the best games I've ever fucking played. Yeah. If you're going to give it a 10, it better be good. Because if it's not, then... which is something I do want to discuss actually. There's another game that I changed my opinion on, but we can get to that towards the end of the podcast.
Okay. I think I might know what game it is.
What?
Yeah. Well, I just literally the only thing I wanted to talk about before we get to the main event was a little film called Hereditary, which has been doing the rounds sort of over the summer. Now, Matt, you haven't seen Hereditary, have you? But Chris, have you seen it?
No.
I have. It's amazing.
I'm
Cool.
really pissed off we missed it.
Well, that's okay. You can.
It's worth it.
Probably be out on DVD for Halloween. Probably, I don't know.
Probably will be actually.
But
along with Halloween.
It's So I won't spoil the movie for you, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised by it, because in a sea of kind of, and no offense to them, I haven't seen half of them to begin with, so I can't possibly comment. But you know how the James Wan cinematic universe has kind of.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer yesterday for The Nun.
Is it Blumhouse? Blumhouse. He does like the.
Yeah.
Producer
Well,
does
I
like all
think
these.
what they do is they make them on
movies.
such a small budget that they make their money back, so they're really successful movies. People go and see them, or enough people go and see them at the very least. But and I enjoyed what was it? Insidious. So I wouldn't rule out
I liked Insidious.
enjoying the rest. It's just I haven't got around to them anyway. So I thought Hereditary was going to be in this vein of kind of things like The Bye-Bye Man, where it's kind of jump scares and characters we don't care about and all these other things. I was pleasantly... There it is. Destroy it.
Get it.
Don't think
Get
it.
it out.
Don't say it.
Chris
rid of it.
a copy of The Bye-Bye Man on DVD.
Fuck it.
It was still in my DVD player from my computer from when we watched it so long ago. Jesus.
I know. That
Tried
was
to
almost a
forget it
year ago.
existed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna bury it.
But Hereditary, I will say, it's a long. It felt long to me. I was in the cinema and I was enjoying the setup, and then there was a bit in the middle where it kind of you're witnessing a slow kind of descent into madness. Basically, you've seen these characters that really bad shit is happening to, and you do actually care about them because you know they're kind of. I don't think it's spoilers to say it's a family unit, so you're kind of worried about this kind of like implosion in this family, and then the ending happens, and any kind of like fatigue I was feeling in the middle act, kind of like the ending was knockout. I still think about the ending sometimes when I'm sitting alone in the dark thinking about things. So I will say definitely check out Hereditary for the ending, because
do it.
It was dark and great. It's
Yeah,
not the same kind of ending as something like Twin Peaks Season 3, but that kind of ending where it's dark and you have questions, but also you're just sitting there watching this going, this is blowing my mind. It was that kind of feeling.
Yeah, it starts off in one way and you think, it's going to be this kind of a movie, I'll just wait for this to be over. And then it doesn't go that way at all, and it just becomes terribly horrifying. I've heard a lot of people refer to it similarly to The Exorcist. Like, when The Exorcist came out, like when it first came out in theaters, like that kind of an impact. Hereditary, to me, has that kind of an impact. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I gather it's been fairly successful, but I also gather that's fairly been because of word of mouth, and it's good that in 2018 word of mouth can still, do stuff. So
so good.
Yeah, so good. I don't want to tell you anything about it. I just want you to witness it.
I want to hold up a sign that says Hereditary is so good, and then a line says change my mind. You can't fucking change my mind. It's so good.
I will get around to watching it once it's released on. It probably will be around Halloween time, so I can watch that, and then I can go and watch Halloween, which is a sequel to Halloween.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Halloween 2, because it's not Halloween 2, and it's not it's not to be confused with the remake Halloween. It's actually a sequel to Halloween, but it's still called Halloween.
Have you seen the trailer for it? Because I saw the trailer yesterday in the cinema.
It looks alright.
It looks okay. It's interesting.
Okay. I like the
it's a weird prison.
where they basically the prison's great. It's mental institute. Isn't it?
They're all
still
kind of like it's like this checkerboard pattern, and they're all kind of like chained to the floor. It's interesting.
I like it. I'm like, it's a cool visual as well. I do like the fact in the trailer they make fun of the sequels.
Which bit was that?
It's because it's in the second one. They're like, well, why? Oh my god, did you know that Laurie Strode is actually Michael Myers' younger sister? Oh my god. It's like, that doesn't make sense, that's stupid. That's why he wants to kill her. That's why he killed other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that negates the fear of the first one, which is that she was just unlucky. Because that's the point of the first one. John Carpenter was like, no, she's just unlucky. In the new one, because it is a direct sequel to the first one, and the first one only, there's a line in the trailer where she says, like, one of the characters, like, didn't it turn out that she was actually his younger sister? And one of the characters rolls her eyes and goes, no, that was a stupid urban myth. I'm like, there you go, great. That's a great way.
I like the fact that she's done a Sarah Connor now, and she's like, because we only recently kind of like watched Halloween for the podcast, so and that was my first time, so, and I haven't seen any of those sequels apart from maybe a bit of H2O when I was a kid, because it was out when I was a kid. And there's a shot in the trailer of Laurie Strode just like loading a shotgun, and she's like, "I've been waiting for him." Like I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is cool."
I like it. She's like, he's gonna come back, and I'm going to be ready for it.
Yeah,
I like that. I mean, it looks promising.
But first, he needs his mask.
Oh, and then he needs to get a workman suit as well.
Yes,
obviously,
very important.
Have to have that. It's one of the tropes.
I mean, it's gonna get messy, and you don't want to get your clothes get all dirty, so you wear the suit.
Exactly. You know, and he needs to cover up the Thorn Curse tattoo. No, we don't talk about that. No, that was stupid. Michael Myers 6. No, it's so bad. Well, no, not Michael Myers. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Also known as Halloween 666. Oh, get it.
Numbers!
Wait.
Scary thing.
Where it turns out... We might have even said it on the podcast, but that's one where they revealed that, no, he has a curse, and it's all like a cult. Honest. That's why he has to kill his family. That's why he's been killing people that aren't his family.
Okay, I will say Hereditary is a cult done right.
Yeah.
Boo!
So good.
There are real echoes of Silent Hill in there, I feel.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, no, seriously, and that's fine. I'll shut up now. Watch Hereditary. It's good.
Do we have to? It was so good.
I can't threaten you with anything that's nearby.
The other thing that I will say very briefly is just the actors are really good in it as well. I felt at times you feel like you're not watching actors, you're watching actual real people having these things happen to them. To me anyway. I really like the I forget the main actress's name, but I saw her in a TV show called Hostages, and she was really good in that as well. And it's got the kid from the Netflix Death Note remake. He was in Jumanji as well, the new Jumanji. Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, oh, okay, they've just got the kid characters come in. Actually, his performance is like terrifying. It's really good.
Oh, great! I need to see it now.
Yeah,
Scary
he's
Children
good.
Great.
Yeah, he's like one of the actors to watch for me now. He was very impressive.
It's definitely a good pick for the podcast at some point.
I have to watch it first.
Well, yeah.
Wait for it to come out before you pick it. I mean, you could pick it and that'd be really cruel, and I'm just sat there going...
You're just like, and then what happens? Oh, that would have been cool to see.
It would have been fun.
Literally, as we're reading
Instead, I just watched Forbidden World. Which is what I forgot to mention. I did. I watched a really terrible... I watched another Roger Corman produced horror film.
Oh, right.
I watched 2 of them, because one of them's a remake of the original. Also produced by Roger Corman.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually I'm making a video on it at the moment, so I'm not going to give much away. But basically, when I was rendering out my most recent video, it's like, well, it's going to take a while, and I like to stay at the computer to make sure it's rendering okay, nothing goes wrong. So I was, for some reason, the trailer for it is always stuck in my head as well, because it's the only trailer I found on YouTube was a German one.
Okay.
Which is already amazing. It's one of those horror movies that got lots of different titles. I think it's Forbidden World, not Worlds, in most of in the English speaking territories. But in some it's called Mutant. Or as the German trailer called it was MOOTANT! Das Graum im All! And it keeps saying it like, oh, Jesus Christ! And for some reason that's just always just stuck in my head, and I finally watched it, and it's... I wish I was watching Galaxy of Terror.
Oh, wow.
It's got some really, again, it's got some cool ideas. Like the monster's quite cool. What it does to you is pretty cool. How it kills people, but the characters make really stupid decisions, like incredibly stupid decisions. Again, I don't really want to give much away. There's one bit it's escaped from the lab.
Okay.
It's already like attacked and basically killed one of the characters.
Das Mutant has escaped from the lab.
Das
Mutant.
Mutant has
Mutant.
has das Glam im Maul everywhere. And they know it's escaped, and they're like, oh no. Or they know they can't find it, and someone's been killed,
9-9.
So the two of the characters are like, this is a perfectly good time to get completely naked and have a sauna.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Nothing's going to go wrong. Oh, it attacked me. And another point, two characters having sex, because of course they're having sex. It's a Roger Corman horror movie from the 80s, of course they're having sex. And one of the characters is supposed to be looking through it on the security cameras. And instead he's watching them having sex.
Uh-huh.
Which is creepy enough. And it gets better. I think he hears a noise, so he's like, right, and he gets a gun, he's going to investigate. But then he starts thinking about the sex, and gets distracted and then murdered. He's just like going, so listen, he keeps flashing on the screen, and then he's like, no,
That sounds amazing.
Like, so the main character, because one of the main characters is the one having sex, it's like his lovemaking was so grandiose and spectacular that he just couldn't think of anything else.
Distracting.
And he gets eaten. Then he gets eaten by the mutant.
So the images of that got penetrated into his mind.
Yes.
Yeah. Repeatedly.
I can't get. I don't want to. I could talk about all the other stupid shit, but I don't want to because it will ruin it. It will ruin the video.
Oh no!
I will say.
Wait for your video.
No, I'm not even gonna say one of the even funnier parts, but it involves cancer. And that's not why it's funny. It's the idea behind it.
Okay.
He's like, if we fed it cancer, would it kill it?
Oh wow! Yeah, let's go past the guns and the knives and go straight to biological warfare, experimental biological warfare.
He runs and going, "Eat me!" And all I could think of was that scene in Men in Black when he's going, "Eat me!"
Wow!
Just so he can get the guns, but unfortunately, it's not supposed to be funny. Eat me, and it just punches him. It's great.
I usually find with these movies, it's best if they're completely serious, because then it's hilarious.
But then, so I watched that, and then I found out that they remade it in the 90s, and it starred Mark Singer, who was the Beastmaster, and in the original V.
Okay.
Which I don't know about. V was like
I know of it.
A miniseries.
It was like an alien thing, wasn't it?
Really good.
They were aliens?
Really good. Yeah, really good. And Mark Singer was the main character. He was the fucking Beastmaster, and so he's the main character in the remake, which is called Dead Space.
Ooh.
And the other actor, which very much surprised me, the Doctor was played by Bryan Cranston.
Nice.
Babyface Bryan Cranston as well, really young looking. And somehow the remake is worse. The remake's more boring.
See, that's it. Yeah,
So,
sometimes things that are so bad they're good, and some things are just mediocre.
It's just so bad. It's got Bryan Cranston.
Well, yeah, you'd think that would help.
This isn't it.
You had to start somewhere.
Yeah, he's in it more than Godzilla, so there's that. Oh, Roger. Then never watch a Roger Corman movie when you're ill, because it's like a fever dream. It feels like you're having some kind of weird fever dream. It's horrible.
This is almost too late, but I definitely want to say this. The person who got naked and got into a sauna during the mutant invasion was probably thinking that the number of people who have died by monsters in saunas is pretty close to zero. So statistically speaking, they would be the safest person.
You won't want to come here. It's too hot. Too hot for the mutant. Das Gram im All. It's just stuck in my head.
Well, the thing I was thinking
I can't remember what it means.
We've got an escaped mutant and we don't know how to find it. Okay, let's split up, have sex, and all of the other things we could possibly think of that in a horror movie would mean, yes, the mutant's going to be there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
they all had the idea of luring the monster to them but they didn't realize that everyone was going to do their own thing to lure the monster to them, so the monster was able to get all of them. Something like that.
It's a special movie. It's very special. It's a nice thing I can say about it. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward
That's why
to
I'm making
video.
a video on it. Yeah, it's cool. It should be funny.
Well, Tom, I think, would you kindly ask me to introduce our main event?
Yes, I feel compelled to. Chris, if you could, your choice was...
What was it? What was it? Bioshock.
Yes, Bioshock
Right?
1.
Okay.
Shocking, isn't it?
Like, what was it? Is it? I don't remember. It's been so long. What an adventure. But yeah,
System Shock right now.
Oh, maybe next time though, because System Shock I hear has a patch that makes it playable. Compared to what I mean, like I've seen System Shock 1 be played. Like you had to actually literally put your mouse cursor on a small square in the upper right hand corner to turn the head of the player. You click in the angle you want his head to move. Instead of using mouse look, you had to like click through a small to make him look a different direction. I've seen this. I know, but it's like this was back before you know, like dual analog sticks were even like that's not possible. No one could possibly want to play that way. Or using the mouse and the keyboard at the same time. Like when I was playing Hexen II when it first came out, I was still like, I can't do both. I have to keyboard, so I'm going to change everything to keyboard controls, which is probably why I couldn't get very far in it to begin with. Because when something's flying over your head, I got to press page up to look up. Oh, he's down there now.
I will just say, the ability to move two analog sticks at the same time is grossly underrated, because I've met people who cannot do it at all. Like, they just kind of... I can't do this. I'm walking looking at my feet the whole time. Or
yeah. My fiance, she's the
My
same way. Like, she's played and beaten Portal 2 on PC. She loves Portal. But when we were trying to play... what was it? Oh, Bioshock. Yeah, she plays it on her PS3. And she's like, I just can't do it. Because it's like, you know, if it's in front of you, yeah, you can... But if it's like over there, she's just like... and then running forward. It's beautiful. I love her.
And it's just like you get that mental image in your head of the main character going, what am I doing?
I've got magic!
While a character speaks to you completely seriously, detailing the mission.
Well, it's like, that's what I used to do in Half-Life 2 all the time. It's like, okay, Gordon, you're the last chance for humanity.
Matt throws his crowbar
doing the gravity gun, fucking move. Dun 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 dun. Come on, Gordon, let's go. Dun dun dun. Fuck off. Dun 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 dun. Jumping up and down. It's the last chance of humanity, guys.
Like pick up a milk crate and throw it, Barney.
Yeah. Fuck off, Barney.
I almost appreciate.
You're like the same.
I appreciate the games where they kind of turn to look at you more, because you're crouching in the corner and they're still looking at you. But completely delivering the line normally, as if they would just be looking normally at you.
It's like you just like had this really deep philosophical moment, like explaining the after effects of everything from the first game, and Gordon Freeman's just crouched in the corner, staring up at him. Just turn his flashlight on and off, and starts hitting them. It's good fun. I love video games.
Yeah,
oh man.
And I love Bioshock. I still love Bioshock, although, like you said, my appreciation has changed over time, and some things that I could overlook previously started to annoy me this time.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's weird how I think it's only just 10 years old. I think,
which is crazy.
It's coming up.
It feels like too long and too short all at once.
Yeah, it feels just everything about it. It feels like a lot like an older PC game from like the 90s, like in terms of the way it moves and the way it plays and everything. I still had a lot of fun playing it. The map has to go and sit in the toilet and then I can flush it away.
Yes, I hated them.
Because it's a piece of shit.
There was only once that I needed to rely on it, and that was one too many times.
Yeah,
about
it's like,
11 years. It's 11 years old.
11.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was released for Microsoft Windows and Xbox 360 platforms in August 2007.
Shit.
Oh, that was it. Yeah,
The year
because it
before
came out.
uni.
Yeah, because it came out on PS3 in 2008. Because we were at uni at the time, and I bought it because I really wanted to get it. And one of my dorm mates at the time, he found it really funny. He said, "Look, I'll go and get my my Xbox 360 copy," and he brought it in, and it just had like big letters on the front saying "Only on Xbox 360." It's an exclusive. It's not anymore. Fuck, 11 years old. That's quite scary. But it's in terms of the way it plays. I think even for its time, it's quite clunky.
Yeah, I think it's well, I think actually it's interesting that Chris has been talking about kind of like a fairly older shooter, and we were talking also about shooters nowadays and that they're quite homogenous and very samey in terms of what they. I feel like Bioshock very much is a kind of a missing link between the two. There were things when I was playing it that felt very old school shooter, but at the same time it was doing things that I feel like now lots of other things have kind of taken on board as well. So
like the audio logs, especially the audio logs,
and being able to listen to them while you're walking around as well is perfect, because it's just little things like that. We've got little chunks of story that we can kind of dot about the place. It just takes that tiny bit of like insight to go, oh, this is stopping the game progression to listen to this, so let's just let them listen to it while they walk around. It's perfect.
It's good because it rewards the player for exploration, because you start to find out more about characters and things that happened.
It was the only thing I wanted to find.
And it paints this picture in your head like, well, this is what happened when it all went down. It's like New Year's Eve. That's when it all collapsed. Was it? Like New Year's Eve
was a New Year's Eve or Mardi Gras party or something like that.
Yeah, it was a big event, and you get this feeling like, wow, it was like, and hearing people talking, these characters, like, you get an idea in your head of how it operated before everyone went mad.
Yeah, it's a pretty redundant thing to say, but I think the world building is phenomenal in this game. I think Rapture is like one of the realest places I've never been to.
Rapture.
Yeah. They did a really good job putting like set pieces out through windows so you can see all these other buildings and skyscrapers. But you'll never explore them. And it's just, it's a box around the room that you're in with, whatever. But they did a fantastic job also answering questions of like how they survived down there with that not planetarium, but the botany area where they had like trees, actual trees growing in the seafloor or ocean floor, but they were encapsulated so they could capture that oxygen and pump it into the into the cities. And there was that one audio log where like one like low level engineer or what contractor or something like that had the idea to replace like copper with brass for like the plumbing or something like that because of how it would corrode or something. And then what's his name?
Andrew Ryan.
Andrew Ryan. I had the right names. Andrew Ryan was like, "You're now chief engineer. You are super smart, and I appreciate you." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." You guys but you had that guy.
The HD collection kind of like spruced up version.
I played the PC version of that.
Okay, I played the PS4. But I was going to say,
the PC version was actually free on Steam, so it was like, hey, I'm not bad.
Nice upgrade.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Did you check any of those director's commentaries that you can find?
No.
I watched 10 minutes of the first one, and it clicked in my head that like the old Ayn Rand, however you pronounce that, inspiration, also probably inspired Andrew Ryan, because Andrew, Ayn, Ryan, Rand.
Yeah.
It's really on the nose, that one.
But,
it really is, isn't it? Like, wait a minute.
There was one talking about the technical limitations of the time and how they were world building with very little. So they basically had a series of corridors. So it was this brilliant idea, like you said, about having kind of like stuff outside that you could see, that could be very low poly, low res, because there's plenty of water and everything kind of like fades off anyway. Just to give this impression of a large, open, vibrant thing. when actually
Yeah,
it's
like
just a series of corridors.
Yeah. It's like the opening part when you're first going down as well, and then all the it clears, the front all clears, and you can just see the city.
Yeah,
it looks amazing. It gives you like a real grand scope. And it's just the design of everything's just great. It looks good. Again, like it's one of those things where sometimes the limitations make a game better.
Yeah, I feel so. Yeah.
It's like, look, no, I mean, I always bring this up on the podcast and when I'm talking to people in person as well, but you should have to look no further than Silent Hill. The fact that massive limitation of how of the PlayStation helped create one of the best horror atmospheres that we'd ever seen up to that point, and it's still like a massive staple.
Except rain. Don't add rain to games. To artificially create limits. That sucks. But everything else is good.
Quick side joke. Yeah. It's like a lot of speedrunners hate water levels. Then they made Breath of the Wild and they just gave it like a water level surprise.
It's like, no water tempo, it's fine. You just have to be worried about the water itself.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Oh, you'll see.
Yes. Anyway, so Bioshock.
Yes.
Like, I chose it because it was one of the games that I've been wanting to play for a long damn time. I've never actually beaten it until the podcast, obviously. And I got into the idea of playing it, not really because of the name or the cover art or any of the hype behind it, but simply because of the name Kenneth Levine and how he was part of another game called Planescape Torment. I don't remember the exact thing he did. But I loved Planescape Torment. It was like one of the games I played when I was in my early teens, and it's got so much dialogue, and it was the only RPG you could play at the time that gave you experience points for dialogue options. Like, you didn't have to murder things to level up. Yeah,
I've
you
had
don't
it
have to
recommended
murder
by
for
so
experience.
many people. I even had a friend who bought it for me on GOG and said, play this game. And I said, yeah, sure, I will. And I just haven't got round to it.
Yeah, right.
One day.
I'm scared just in case I don't like it.
Yeah. It's like pray for a non-debilitating, non-life-threatening disease that'll just keep you at home for about a month, and then you can just fit it all in there.
Sounds great. No, seriously, sounds like heaven.
Everyone to get ill got that? Everyone got that?
Yeah, when you get ill, play
really
Escape Torment, I promise.
Cut your legs off.
Cut your legs off. Yeah, you can get a wheelchair. It's fine. I've seen videos where like biological or bionic legs are actually going upstairs and stuff now. So we got it covered. It's cool to cut your legs off.
Fine.
But yeah, so just Kenneth Levine's name is what brought me into Bioshock. And then I saw like a friend play it a little bit, and I wasn't really that impressed. But it looked like it was not impressive because the way he was playing it, not because it wasn't impressive. You know, he's just like bumping into shit. Where's the thing? I want to find. You know, it's like, what about the atmosphere? Didn't you hear that like metal on metal sound? Are you spooked a little bit? No, we're gonna shoot something. We're fucking shooter game.
Hitting his wrench against things.
Yeah,
it's the Gordon Freeman effect.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Let me out of here! Oh man. So now that I finally got to sit down and play it in a favorable position, because my fiance was watching me play it in our hotel room, and she was actually on the bed watching it on the TV because I had my laptop hooked up to the TV, so it would project what's on the laptop screen onto the TV screen. So she had her own system, her own TV, and the way the hotel room was set up is the acoustics were better at the head of the bed. So she had like surround sound and all that kind of stuff. It was really great. And I'm just like like that Doom face. You know? Webcams! And it was just really great. Like, the beginning, it's really haunting and spooky. You definitely go into a civilization that has fallen well beyond recovery, you know? And that part when you, I think it's like an elevator, when you go into the first elevator, and you hear a lady, like, singing a lullaby to her baby.
Yeah.
Or not singing a lullaby, but expressing remorse, wishing that her baby was still alive, saying things like, when you used to suckle on my teats, or something like that, and it's just like, just really like sad motherly shit. And I'm like sneaking up on her because I'm just like, you're gonna bite me or something, and I have a wrench. I'm gonna hit you first before you bite me. And then you knock her out, and her baby's a handgun.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
That's awesome. Cool, come with me, baby. It's like, Hellboy, don't wake the baby. Yeah, just that I have not had an experience similar to that in many other games, you know, and that's one of the things that makes Bioshock really good is they have all these little set pieces that are perfectly orchestrated. Because I've played the game a little bit in the beginning a couple of times, and I always have the same exact experience going through it, and like that's what makes it a classic. It's memorable because you can't redo that without saying, "Oh, this is like Bioshock." You know, so Bioshock is the memorable one, where it's like. A brief aside, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. I played a little bit of Cosmic Star Heroine, which is an RPG that you can get on Switch or PS4 or PC or whatever. And it had a lot of Chrono Trigger throwbacks. And because of that, I'd rather play Chrono Trigger. So if another game came out with a bunch of Bioshock throwbacks, I would just rather play Bioshock.
No, that's fine.
Take notice, developers, if you're going to do a inspired game, don't. Because I'm just going to play the game you inspired it from. I'd rather do that. So, but there's a number of interesting little set pieces that I'll let you guys talk about as well, because I don't want to take the whole thing up.
Yeah, I mean, I better get my Humblebrag out of the way. So I played the game on the hardest difficulty with Vita Chamber switched off.
No, you didn't.
I did. Okay, I've got the not achievements. What are they on PS4? Trophies. I've got the trophies to prove it. Yeah. But I'll get out of the way now.
Smile. He's like, I did it.
Mainly because I feel like that is a really good way to play the game, although it does result in save scumming quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the best way to play it once you've experienced the story. Because the whole time I was playing, until near the end, I was constantly living from bullet to bullet, medkit to medkit, and I discovered that there was... Oh, you guys still there? You're frozen.
I think...
Okay.
Oh, I'm going mad. Okay, we're good?
Yes. Well, that is strike number 1 for Discord.
Boo, Discord.
Boo.
Oh, come on.
Boo.
It did really good for like an hour and a half.
We came to you because Skype was bad, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, what was
Watch
I
your
about?
ass, Discord.
Yeah, I was bragging, wasn't I?
Watch your ass.
Let's just start with Humblebrag and then continue from there.
Yeah, so Humblebrag. I beat it on hardest difficulty with Vita Chamber switched off again. I have done that once previously because I gave a shit about achievements back when I was at uni and I had time to do things like that.
Yeah. Likewise.
And it was a great experience because you are constantly scrabbling for things. I didn't realise how much stuff is actually hidden in the background and the scenery. The telekinesis was my best friend through the gameplay because I would see something on a beam or behind a poster and pull it out, and I needed it. So I was looking through like shrubbery and everything, just trying to find items to use.
Yeah, just like telekinesis sweep the entire area.
Yep. And at the end of the first section, just after Big Daddies had been introduced, I went to get into the bathysphere, and it said, are you sure you want to do this? Because you kind of need some Adam if you're going to play this game. And I was like, okay. So I saved, and I went back to a Big Daddy, tried it a couple times, got royally destroyed, and thought, fuck it, I'm going to come back and mop up Big Daddies later. So, yeah. And it was a really... I do recommend it as an experience, although I think you have to... There are some things about Bioshock that are annoying in terms of mechanics. Things that I did that really helped was hacking. If you're not very good at the hacking minigame, you're going to have a bad time on that difficulty.
Very bad time.
Although I do love that kind of game. Like one of my earliest gaming memories is my dad had an Atari ST, and we had some cool games for that. We had Thomas the Tank Engine, which was A-okay. I was well into that, 4 years old. We had an Asterix game, and we had a game called Pipe Mania, which was essentially that game. So I've gotten really fast at those, and those are quite fun. Although they are a cheat later on when more tiles get introduced, and you actually find that the puzzle was impossible to begin with.
Yep.
Those are annoying. But of course, save scum to reload my file because I save before every hack because I have no morals whatsoever. I don't mind doing that.
This game's not going to best me.
You're quite a demon, yeah.
Well, the way I see it is, if you're going to allow me to save anywhere, I will save everywhere.
Yeah. I'm everywhere at once.
Yeah.
I'm the Time King.
I'm the Time King. That's an episode title. But yeah, so, and it also it definitely made the game last much longer for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because another thing, because I'm a glutton for punishment, the other thing is that I was making sure I was saving all the little sisters, so I wasn't going to harvest any of them for, the full Adam amount.
I don't think that matters. I hate to interject on you, but it's like I saved all of them too, and then I went back and started a new save file and just killed the first one I found, and you get like 400 Adam from her. But if you save them, you basically just get the same amount later.
Yeah.
You just don't get it immediately.
It's
not
just
an
And then
amount
you can
difference.
get and then you sometimes get an extra thing with it as well.
You get those gifts.
Give you a basket.
Yeah.
And like, unfortunately, and I hate to say this too, but like, killing the little sister is not satisfying in any way. It's like the screen goes green and then she's gone. There's not a corpse. It's just. Would you eat her alive? Shoes and all? I mean, what the hell is this? That'd be horrifying. Put that in the cutscene.
Well,
Just
to be fair, the main character clearly has a very strong metabolism. Like the way you just like wolf down cream pies and chocolate eclairs and crisps. You're just like,
and 19 bottles of whiskey.
So I can kill everyone. I'm sober again. More pies. Crisps. Chocolate. Coffee.
Oh, my favorite thing was like opening up a suitcase and had like 6 bottles of whiskey and just consume them all just half-handedly. I didn't even think about it. Just take all.
Well, yeah, that's one of the problems with the gameplay loop as well, is that like literally I'm just spamming, I think it was X or whatever it is, to just get the items in a thing, and you end up drinking a load of alcohol for no reason. Because you just spam, I need everything.
Yeah. It just,
I want all the
some
things.
Of your Eve away from you, or I think because I think it gives you a boost to health, but takes your Eve. If you have alcohol and cigarettes, there's a boost to Eve, but a penalty.
Yeah,
to
that's
health
right.
or something like that.
And you can get like tonics to enhance those effects as well. Like get more things from a thing, or alcohol doesn't affect you as much. That kind of thing.
Yeah, they're really good ones.
You're never sitting down like, oh, I'm gonna open the suitcase. Oh, okay, there's some whiskey, there's a candy bar, some bullets. I'll just take just the bullets, thank you.
You always
just take all.
I always think that in all the Bioshock games, Infinite in particular, it's really satisfying just looting everything. There's something really satisfying about just looting it. It's like I just want to clear. I just want to clear the area. It's all clear. It gets really frustrating when you max out your money. It's like, there's money there, but I want to take it. Because the suitcase still has something in it.
I was having to do that. It's a case of, once the tide turns in a, whatever the maximum difficulty is, playthrough, once you start getting to where you need to be in terms of having the resources, then it's kind of interesting. It does force you to use stuff up. So I would always have to periodically work out when I was going to go and take out a Big Daddy, because I could use a load of stuff. And then the problem is you get to the invent machines and you find out that you can invent a load of stuff that you would have previously paid for, so suddenly your wallet's full. So then what are you going to do? Well, I guess I'll go and buy a load of first aid kits, but then you find a load of first aid kits on the floor and you can't use those, so you have to remember where they were and come back, and it's
and I figured this out later in the game. If you beat up a first aid machine, first aid kits fall out. Sometimes you get 3 of them. It's like, that was way more valuable than using this thing. What the hell?
I can actually, because it wouldn't give you the first aid kit. It would just heal you. So if you break it, it's like, I can take them with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the strategy, like the little strategies in this game are really fun to find like that, because if you know you're not coming back to a place ever, then it makes sense to break it and take the first aid kits.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's reusable as long as you have money, so it could potentially be more useful unbroken, but, I mean...
Well, yeah, usually useful in a combat situation. Once that active combat situation is done, take them with you.
Yeah, take them all. Just take the machine off a wall, put it in your backpack, and just walk away.
But I wanted to ask you guys about playstyle, because I find quite often that I'm rarely using plasmids, and I know they're a big part of the game. And I'm kind of like, I am using them, but I was pretty much just using the electric the whole time, and I was pretty much just using that to stun big daddies on the spot, so I could unload a few more shots into them and then do it again.
Oh, Electro Bolt's the best plasmid in the game. There's no argument. Especially my tactic, even when I first played it and even now, is Electro Bolt wrench. Electro Bolt wrench, especially because when you get the camera and you start taking photos of them, it's like, oh, now you do more damage with the wrench. Great. Oh, you've got a tonic where you do loads of damage with the wrench and it swings faster. Great. When they're stunned or they've had their back to you. So I'm just going to kill everything in one hit now, basically. Electro twat.
And you can stack those as well, can't you? So you could have the original wrench jockey, I think it's wrench jockey, and then wrench jockey 2 or whatever. Yeah. You can and they call it the 1-2 punch, don't they? They kind of encourage that in the beginning of the game. Shock them and then hit them with a wrench. Yeah.
It doesn't help that trying to shoot anything accurately is fucking painful.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
It's like, I'm going to aim down the sights. Bang! Oh no,
I do like that you can aim down the sights, and again, this is not something that I think was incredibly popular at the time.
Wait, you can?
Yeah.
It's on consoles.
I don't know on the PC, but on PS4, you just click one of the analog sticks, I think.
Yeah, right.
Maybe PC didn't have that, or I just didn't even notice it, but that was always like firing from the hip.
It doesn't really add too much, to be fair, because you lose the crosshair.
Yeah.
It's useful on the crossbow, I think.
Yeah, that's the crossbow.
Because it's kind of, I think it zooms in a little bit. Or that might be an upgrade for the crossbow. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask. Out of all the weapons, like besides the wrench, because the wrench is the best weapon in the game. Besides the wrench, what's the weapon you use the least? So the wrench obviously is the one we use the most. What's the one you use the least?
The launcher, it was
the
lightning or nitrogen or flamethrower. That whole thing. I wish I just never had it.
Because reloading it was a pain in the ass. Oh, I'm out now.
And it didn't do more damage than anything else. It wasn't I got a room full of bad guys. Finally, the flamethrower is going to shine.
So, or I could just use
getting shot at.
Yeah, or I could just use the incinerate plasmid, and I've set 3 of them on fire, and those ones, and those ones, and those ones.
Yeah, and if you can actually stack plasmids to make the incinerate even stronger, and the flamethrower never gets that. So it's why would I use this piece of junk? Throw it away.
That's interesting. What I found is it's like you said, the reload time is the killer. So what I would do when I was approaching a big daddy is I would load all of my weapons with the type of ammo that I wanted, save, and then begin. So the chemical thrower with the electricity gel was very good on big daddies. So I would use that an awful lot. I wouldn't use the freeze one as much because you don't get things if you break people who are frozen. So
the freeze plasmid, the freeze plasmid is shit.
Yeah, it's absolutely worthless because of that. I was using that for a little while. I was like, this is kind of fun. Bing, bing, bing. Yeah. Nothing?
I think that,
what?
It's exactly, you get nothing for it. Or you could just electrocute them and then hit them.
Yeah.
But I think the weapon I did use the least was the wrench, because you use it a lot at the start, but then I was always scrabbling for ammunition, because my favourite thing in the entire game is the shotgun with electric buck. Or explosive buck, one of the two, I don't mind, because that owns Big Daddy's the electric buck. They just stand still and go the whole time, so you could just unload a full clip into them. It's great.
The shotgun is good.
It's a shotgun, but you know what I
mean. The shotgun was good. I ended up using the grenade launcher a lot for the Big Daddies as well.
The heat-seeking RPG missiles was the best ammunition for that in my mind as well.
It was just hello, electrocute. RPG, electrocute, RPG, electrocute, RPG, and then it's even better once you get the when you upgrade the RPG launch or the grenade launchers so that you don't take blast damage.
Yeah.
So you just walk up to them bang, electrocute, bang, electrocute.
Straight up.
It's
See, that's what makes Bioshock kind of a classic though, because they actually they just gave you a whole lot of toys.
Yeah.
For replay, because I didn't do either of what you did. either of you. Like, I used shotgun, yeah, but that's just because I like shotguns. I didn't really use the electric buck for any reason, except for once when I accidentally shot a Big Daddy with it and saw how powerful it was. I was like, holy crap, he's just standing still. But even then, I didn't have a lot of electric buck. I wasn't like investing in any of it, and I wasn't using telekinesis sweeps to get more ammo and stuff. I was really like just shotgun or pistol. And then when I got the crossbow, trap crossbows, killed Big Daddies. Yeah. 5 of them, just line them up on a wall, just shoot him once, hide him out of a corner. He's like, brr, 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 boom, dead.
I remember you were telling me about trap bolts and how useful they are.
I was just
I never used one in the entire game.
Neither did I. I used the regular bolts.
Yes, and incendiary bolts I used an awful lot.
I didn't use any incendiary bolts or any regular bolts. It was just those trap bolts.
They're good. They Big Daddies don't like those either.
Yeah. A lot of enemies don't like it when you hit them in the face with them.
But you can also use telekinesis to move a trap bolt around and then reset it somewhere.
That's cool.
I didn't
so like if you wanted to set the trap in your favor instead of against you, you could do that.
And, that was another valuable upgrade as well, was the one where you get to pick up bolts afterwards.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That is good. I mean, that's one of the things. Like, there's lots of different ways you can play the game. That is a really good strong point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Slightly
differently.
And
if I play it again, and I will, then I will just try something else, and it'll be as effective if I just play some other way.
Not only are you rewarded for exploration in terms of finding those power to the people machine upgrade things, but also the freedom in that you can choose any of the upgrades that you want. So whatever you are using, it just gives you the freedom to play how you want to.
And that's a really strong thing in its favour, because it adds so much replay value.
You don't get that in many games. You really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, Breath of the Wild, you get that. You know, you can pretty much play it however you want, but like that game is boring and has no real story. Bioshock, however, you know, I mean, it's like Bioshock is at least a shorter game. You can speed run it. I want to speed run it, except I've seen a speed run and they do a lot of jumping, and I refuse to look like a jackass when speed running. Yeah, I don't care if it's faster. I'm going to run like a human being.
Yeah, could you kindly jump like an idiot?
Yeah. Okay. But I also used the Tommy gun a lot, because once I understood how powerful anti-personnel rounds were,
to be fair,
I was shredding splicers. I didn't care anymore. I was like da 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 da, and I started using 3-round bursts, aiming. But I had a mouse keyboard, so I was able to aim much better, I think, than either of you console dudes. So it was like, there was a couple of times when it was like a single one shot. It was like a thug splicer shows up and I just headshot, boom, and a personnel round ripped right through me, fell over. I was like, this saves so much more ammo if I am accurate and use the correct ammunition against the targets. I'm going to do that from now on. So
that's my favourite thing to do though with any kind of like automatic weapon in a game, is to kind of squeeze off a couple, like just go juk 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 juk. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in the beginning, I was just like, hold the button. You know? And I was just thinking, all these bullets are going to shred them up. But it's like, I just perfectly outline their bodies in bullet holes. And I don't hit anybody. So, I learned eventually. But, yeah. So, like, we each had 3 different experiences playing through the game. Even though we've played it before. You know, some of us have played it before. We still had 3 different viable ways to play the game, and that's just really cool.
Yeah. And that's and that's adds again, like I said, adds replay value to it, and also because the game's not too long. Although I think there's a couple of areas it could towards the end. Yeah, and the last section.
That'll lead me on to a point I wanted to make in a minute.
Ooh, it's particularly the last boss just infuriates me. Not because the last boss is difficult, just because it's so generic and boring. This game's great, but they just cut it down slightly, trim a few things out, and it would be near perfect in terms of how it progresses and the length. Because it's not super long, it does mean you can replay it. You can go, this time I'm not going to use the wrench, I'm going to use incendiary and trap plasmids and what's the Sonic? Is it Sonic Boom where you can like push them back and
I didn't use that shit at all, but it might be really good.
Could be, yeah. I have no idea.
Maybe you can throw rockets back at like turrets or something with that. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
Or you can catch them with telekinesis and throw them too.
Yeah, do that. Just like nope, fuck off. Nope, fuck off. Nope, fuck off.
Yeah. Telekinesis is really useful for the the grenade throwers. Really useful.
Yeah.
But I only bought, I think, one plasmid slot at the Gatherer's Garden, and then the rest were tonic slots and tonics. I very rarely bought any other plasmids.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying about the boss and the ending of the game and the padding, I feel personally like the game takes a bit of a nosedive once you finish Sander Cohen's area, because to me, I feel like the first main area that you go into with the doctor who's been
the crazy doctor.
Yeah, you have the crazy doctor's area, and then you have the the kind of like the gangsters fishy area where they've all been contraband and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it feels like each area's got kind of like not always has like a main character tied to them, but most of them feel like they kind of do.
And they fit in that area.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Sander Cohen is the last one that does that, and then after that I can't remember anybody.
No, you're right.
Was Sander Cohen the artist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who he was.
Because you go to, I think you go to Andrew Ryan straight after that, don't you?
Yeah, so maybe up to Andrew Ryan then. I'd be and you get the reveal then, of course, that it's Fontaine. Spoilers.
Well, not Andrew Ryan's not Fontaine.
No. Sorry, that Atlas is Fontaine.
Oh, Roger Kindly, yeah, and also I found out that there are two different voice actors as well, which is quite funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is.
Well, that's kind of cool.
And that the Irish accent is done by an Irish person, I believe. So.
Oh, good. I mean, it sounds good to me. I don't know Irish people too much, so maybe it's terrible, but it sounded good to me.
I recently edited the podcast for The Undying, and we have a whole section in there about Irish accents and.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you kindly do that for me? Thank you very much.
That'd be a different game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, not me wee lass and me wee little boy. Fuck you, Andrew Ryan.
All of a sudden, Atlas is like an old Irish grandmother.
Oh, Andrew Ryan, I'll get you, you bastard.
Yep. Sequel. Bioshock 4, Atlas Returns. It's his grandmother.
Oh my goodness, could you imagine? Turns into Dr. Manhattan at the end.
But
I feel like after that section, it feels kind of like, okay, so you've got to become a big daddy, so go do all this stuff, which is just room after room of kind of people you've got to kill.
Yeah, and you know what, and bugged me about that as well, is that the way the screen changes. Like, I can't see that much. I take less damage now, that's great, but it's one thing that just aesthetically always bugged me. It's like, oh, you have to put the Big Daddy suit on. I'm still wearing my jumper.
Yep.
I have no protective gloves on, guys. Can I have the drill or like the rivet gun? That'd be really nice.
Oh man, give me the drill.
You get that in the second one, but the second one's a piece of shit. Yeah, like that whole section just goes on.
There were 3 separate play sessions where I said to my wife each time, "Oh no, I'm really near the end this time."
Yeah,
and then it turned out actually my memory was faulty, and I still wasn't anywhere near the end because there was more of it and more of it, and I feel like it does kind of drag in that final section. Those final few sections, especially because again with things like the theatre. And the clinics and stuff, it felt like they were kind of like memorable locations, and then when you get to the housing districts where they're kind of like there are all these kind of tenement apartments in kind of like with ramps going up, it kind of that was, like we said, the one instance I needed to use the map was because I got legitimately confused about which one I was in, and which way was the way out, especially having to backtrack to find Big Daddies I'd walked past, and I needed to go and get them now, so I just got lost.
The worst thing about that map is you go right, where am I? You're here. How do I get there? Oh, you have to go there, but then you go there, and then there's the arrow going across. And it's like, can you just, if there are multiple floors, just have a button that switches between each individual floor for me. Don't go, then you go here, and then you go over there, and you have to jump over there and do this, and follow that arrow to go to that arrow, and then you go back here again. But then you're there, and you don't want to go that way, you want to go this way. So why is it so complicated?
Yeah, it looks like a shopping mall map.
It does.
It does. And I think that's more towards the design decision of the game than for convenience or user friendliness.
It's more confusing. It's more confusing.
Well, shopping mall maps are also confusing.
But it's more confusing than the shopping mall map.
It's an example of where in-world doesn't actually help the gamer experience as opposed to the other way around. Whereas,
But I think 11 years ago we didn't know that.
That's true.
Really
yeah.
We had no idea. We were learning.
Someone's broken into my flat.
Go get her! Get a wrench!
Where's my wrench?
Alright, well, I think, sort of moving on so that we don't take... Because we could talk about this game forever. Let's...
Back again!
A suspicious figure walks into Matt's shot. She
I've
loiters.
never seen this one before, honestly.
I just wanted, so the story, I thought that it was a lot better than it was for me this time round.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's time and becoming kind of jaded, but I feel like although the world is really good, and the whole idea of, this place, was decadent and, thriving industry, and now it's fallen and it's decrepit, and people are falling apart and they're spliced, all that's really good. But I feel like the core kind of plot of you're no name McJohnson who happened to find this place, and you go downstairs and then you just follow this guy's voice all the way until he finds out, shock twist, he's the evil guy. So now you follow the lady's voice all the way to the end, and then you stab a dude with a syringe.
Yeah, like, couldn't Tenenbaum maybe have just, warned... I think the main character's name's Jack, you find out. Wouldn't it have been, because she clearly knew the whole time. Couldn't she have just gone, hey, Jack, don't listen to Atlas, he's fucking crazy, yo.
Yeah.
He's Fontaine!
Yeah, that would be weird. But
especially seeing as I think she was supposed to be... Was she... I think one of the logs said something about her having a relationship with Fontaine? Or at least knowing him.
I think so. Because I think you find out that Jack is the illegitimate son of Andrew Ryan, which is why because that's how we can use all the technology and stuff. But yeah, that once I think you should have found out. Okay, this is the thing. This is a twist. The twist is still really good, because knowing the twist, you do pick up on more stuff throughout the game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's too much of a large section after you find out the twist.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, now we're going to fight him. And I was like, well, not yet. You got to wait.
There's even a bit where you go up to his, is it like his office or...
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a big bear statue or something like that. So you get this you go up a lift, and there's this kind of Pebble Zen garden or something outside of his office.
Oh,
and there's a huge fight there. Or at least it was huge for me because there was a lot of people, lots of robots, everything flying around.
It's still a pain in the ass.
So you're thinking you're kind of building to a thing, and then he's not there, he's somewhere else. So I don't know. It adds to that feeling of stringing along the last kind of section.
Yeah.
And they really could have just ended it there. I was thinking it was going to end there when I got to that point because, like you said, it's a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
And once I finished killing them all, they had 6 figures that were crucified along the hallway or something.
Yeah.
And they were important figures throughout the game. Everyone who betrayed Andrew Ryan was destroyed. And it's oh shit, this is a perfect lead up to a fight with Andrew Ryan, which doesn't happen. You get to see him, and he gives this "Would you kindly" speech, and it's can I shoot you now, or are you gonna shoot me? You have a golf club, I got a wrench. We'll do it like men. What do you think? And he's just letting you beat the hell out of him.
It also seems pretty strange the way Andrew Ryan, either he wants to die, or he really believes he can break through programming, I guess.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that's
maybe
what I was leaning towards.
Maybe it's an element of he's trying to break the program, but at the same time, because he's the one issuing the command, he's still choosing. Because his whole thing is I would everyone to choose what they do. Da, 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 da. So he's still choosing his own fate by telling him to kill him.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I never thought about it.
But I think it might be a mixture of both. He really thinks he can maybe break through, but it's well, if I don't, I went out on my own terms.
And it's a shame because 5 minutes later he does break programming. So.
Yeah. And then you get random plasmids. We love that part.
Oh boy.
You got ice. Oh, die.
Oh yeah, tell a lie. That was the one time I did use like half of the types that I don't usually use.
They're like, see, look at the cool things you could use. No, I don't want to use them. I want to electrocute things. They're in a body of water. Look at them.
But
yeah,
it would have been really cool. I'm sorry, real quick. It would have been really cool if you could use the ice plasmid on a body of water, and then the splicers would be like, whoa, Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah,
and that would have been
just like
fucking awesome.
Great. They make the same noise. Uppercut. But this thing as well is like, I still don't really understand Fontaine's plot. He's like, yes, now I have control of the city.
Yeah, ain't nothing here, man.
And we're gonna go to the surface. There's not that many of you. You have magic plasmidy things, but I've been killing loads of your dudes with just a pistol. I'm just saying, if the military get involved, they might kill you all.
Yeah.
A bullet to head still works. Like, you haven't got a plasmid that can protect you from bullets. That's infinite. That's actually
I haven't played Infinite
anyway,
yet.
but yeah, like his plan, I was just like, I just thought maybe it was originally when I first played. It was like, because you hear about Fontaine, it was like maybe it was like one final fuck you to Ryan. He just wanted to kill him. And he was just something. So he was like, oh, now I have control of the city, and I'm gonna go above ground. And the plan sucks.
I mean, like in some way, he would basically be a supervillain. You know, like even the Joker could die from a bullet, but everyone's afraid of him. Fontaine would have the ability to be a big blue Dr. Manhattan, and then, you know, people would still be afraid of him, I guess, and he could use that to influence people and, like, shock people and, you know, whatever. It would be harder to detain him. You know, he would basically bend the balance of the law in his favor, but he would still be killable.
Yeah, they just blow him up. Bomb on him.
He would basically be like a 5-star GTA villain that would just die eventually.
He's like a GTA character that's got loads of mods installed.
Yeah.
So he can fly. Yeah, he's playing like in hindsight, that still doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Also dedicated to the ruse as well, because he shows up dressed as Atlas and runs towards the bathysphere as it blows up. He's like, it's like, no!
Well, did they ever actually tell you what was actually in the bathysphere? Like,
he implied that his wife and children were in there.
Oh yeah, I know that, but he mocks you
was,
later on. He's like, oh no, me wee wife and baby boy, oh no. When Fontaine's just taking the piece, like, I can't believe you fell for that.
You schmuck.
But damn, he's like, he must have been in league with Sander Cohen to get those voice acting chops up they made, because that's impressive. To go from, I'm gonna kill you now, to, oh, could you do this for me? Like,
yeah. And dedicated, because like, it's so weird because the character that you meet at the end as the final boss just feels so divorced from everything you've heard up to then, both the Atlas part and the Fontaine part.
Well, because there's that cool moment where you're chasing him and he's like throwing different plasmids at you. It's like, that's cool. That'd be a really cool fight, because he's got fucking everything now. Because he even says, you know, I ain't usually taken some before, but I've taken all my own shit. And he's like, all these fucking plasmids, and then you fight him and he's just a big muscly dude that runs fast.
It would be different if he had at least switched up the plasmids he used, but they were just basically like shoulder tackle splicers, you shoulder tackle splicers. I was like, I'm gonna do this on the first try, aren't I? You know.
Also, I know it's skipping right to in, but the way you beat him, like, it just makes him like a complete fucking idiot. He's supposed to be like this. He's had this great plot for years. Like, he's like, oh, and then we're gonna get this thing, and the guy's gonna open the letter and shoot down the plane. He's gonna arrive, and it's gonna be great. But then he can't figure out that going back into the machine leaves him vulnerable to being stabbed in the fucking chest. Like, the first time Jack goes up to him and goes, "Stab! I'm taking your Adam." He's like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't do that again."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to do it this time. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
please don't stab me.
Like,
that's
control the splicers in such a way that they get in front of him, so you actually have to like gauntlet your way through.
That's a problem with boss phases in general. Is kind of like okay, yeah, I've done that 5 times already now. Are you sure?
So, please, come on, Jack. Please, would you kindly not? Please don't stop. Ah, no, the little girls are coming.
I just feel like
just been like the last thing you did instead of the third thing you did.
Or the monster kind of like goes to the doctor and says, this big red glowy thing on me, like people hit that all the time and it really hurts. Could
you kindly get rid of it for me?
Yeah.
And they stab it. No, not that way.
Like Doc pulls out a sword. Aha! I'm Link the whole time. Plot twist. Dr. Link.
Just the final boss. Like, of everything is so disappointing because he's so generic and he's just this big blue dude. Because apparently, when you take too many plasmids, you either turn into an ugly monster like the other splicers, or you turn into Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. You're like, yes, Mr. Universe. Like, why is he musty now? What plasmid was that?
Yeah.
And why did you need...
That's not a plasmid. There's steroids, you fool.
Yeah.
Why did you need like mind-controlled, like external person to like kill these people if you're like full of plasmids and can kill like everybody anyway? Just so you
because he needed him for his Andrew Ryan DNA.
He really needed him because he needed someone to witness his excellent Irish accent.
Yeah, it's like I've been working on this for 5 years.
Oi laddie, witness me! No, I can't do an Irish accent.
Everyone's bleeding dead. Andrew Ryan won't return my calls. I'll do something. That's why he really started. He's like, I've been taking acting lessons and Ryan's too busy. I've got a ways that brings him down.
He won't go golfing with me anymore.
I'll shows him.
Okay, well,
that's the true ending.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up. Let's talk. Well, I don't think. I think that's the point, isn't it? There's not much to talk about in terms of the endings. I mean, they're really kind of.
I mean, I had the good ending because I saved all the little girls.
Yeah, so did I, and that's the one I always kind of aim for. And I guess is that I don't know if there is a canon ending.
The canon ending apparently is. Is that he
the good ending
him because there's DLC, the Burial at Sea DLC for Infinite, which is really up its own arse. To the point where that episode of South Park where they smell their own farts. Yeah. It is that. That's the ending to Burial at Sea is them sniffing their own farts. Oh. They're like, main character Infinite, she's the one that helped get the letter to Jack, and she was there, and she helped one of the original little sisters that he helped. Like, I don't remember the blonde little sister that stands out from the rest of them, but okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, they all kind of the same.
Yeah, they're like, a great man will come and he'll save them all. Unless you play it a different way, and it's like, no, he's going to arrive and murder them all.
It's a different kind of saving. They've got no more problems.
But I think the canon ending is the good ending, but
I think Bioshock definitely is a brilliant journey, and the journey is good to go on, especially because you've got so many different ways that you can go about it. But it's ultimately it's the journey that counts, not the ending.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely in terms of this, everything leading up to it is great.
I love the world building. I don't. In a way, I can't blame them for returning to it in DLC for Infinite because it's so memorable and kind of iconic.
That's the thing is in because it's a 2-part episode. The Burial at Sea DLC, the first part of it, you are walking around Rapture and it hasn't all gone to shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, I really should play it. I
really
think it's
cool.
all included in the HD collection, isn't it?
It is. I'd recommend it. But yeah, it's really cool just walking around Rapture. It's like, wow, this is actually everything's working. The shops are open, people are doing stuff. They're at the bars, they're drinking, but then you do see like stuff about Atlas, and it's really cool. And you find out that it was the main character's fault that Atlas got back into the main area of Rapture. Oops. But no, it's cool. It's just cool seeing it all actually working. And because Infinite always looked gorgeous anyway, so it looks even better. Rapture looks even better in the engine they're using for Infinite. It's one thing I did actually want to talk about in regards to Infinite. When it came out, I fucking hated it. I really didn't like Infinite at all when it came out. And then for some reason I played it, because I played the Burial at Sea DLC, because I just wanted to see what it was like, because it was part of the HD collection. And then I played Infinite. And now I absolutely love it. It's weird. I absolutely love it. It's like one of my favourite games. I finished it and I wanted to play it again. I was like, I want to play that again. I don't know why I hated it so much. I think it's because it is different to the original Bioshock, but also when it was being made, they said they were saying that there's gonna be the Civil War and you're gonna like take part in it and you can like kind of choose sides and what you do will affect the outcome, and it doesn't really do that.
No.
They cut a lot of stuff out. But in terms of the story, that story's so good.
I enjoyed Infinite. I mean, I've only really played through it once, and that was when it came out. But I did enjoy it. It was okay. I liked the ending.
The ending's good.
I think you know, like you said, you can kind of get a tiny little whiff of pretentiousness off of it. But overall, I think it was a really nice way to kind of bring the whole thing full circle.
The one thing I didn't like, and I still don't like now, is that in all the gameplay trailers, all the trailers, everything, they kept like showing Songbird as like this you're gonna have to fight Songbird and it's gonna be really fucking hard. You never fight him.
Oh, they definitely turned that back as well. I think they planned to at some point, didn't they, to have something with him.
But I don't think you actually fight him. Really.
No.
In fact, you use him at the very end of the game, like you use him to destroy the statue and everything. But it does something that Bioshock 1 did really well, which is the world building. And the first time you go in Columbia, it's exactly what I did when I played Bioshock 1 for this, and then I played Infinite afterwards. I did the thing where I was just walking around looking at everything. It's like, wow, this just looks really cool. Everything looks cool. I did that same thing with Bioshock 1, I did the Bereft Of The Wild DLC, and then with Columbia and Infinite. It's just fun walking around looking at this world and watching how it all works. I'm going, that's how that, and then that connects there, and it's cool. I like fun stuff like that. I don't want to just play military shooters. They're boring.
Right.
So boring. But Infinite's it's great. It's probably better than the first one.
It's one of the things that I've been picking up on with game design in general. Like, 2 words: danger, discovery. Those are the 2 things you kind of need to have like a successful, I think, like at least first-person shooter, where it's like you're moving around, discovering cool shit, like in Bioshock, or it's just legit hard, like in Hexen II for me, until I got good. I mean. And then if you can combine those 2, then you have like a top-notch game, which I think like Half-Life or Half-Life 2. Lots of danger, lots of discovery, things are always happening. Those 2 themes are really powerful for a first-person shooter. But speaking of discovery, I wanted to touch on this one topic because it's horror-related. What do you remember as your favorite scare, if you have one, in Bioshock? Because there were a couple of them that were pretty legit, I thought. Or maybe because you guys have beaten it before, you didn't have that, but I did.
That's an interesting question. See, the funny thing, I think me and Matt have talked about it before, but Infinite definitely has one moment that's very memorable.
Yes, that's why so it's still very effective now.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of Bioshock 1. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's probably the first area, the medical area, because of the lighting.
Yeah. I mean, there are some moments where you know that something's going to happen. It's very telegraphed. Like, for instance, the place where you get the shotgun, it's lit very deliberately by a spotlight. It's got this kind of, you know how most of the items in the game have that kind of golden glow of "you can pick me up." You're like, I'm not going to pick this up just yet. Not until I've reloaded all my weapons and saved.
Saved. Save scum file number 173.
It's a long list. Just in case.
But in terms of like, in terms of absolute horror, I mean, I think Rapture works for me in terms of scaring, in terms of the oppressive kind of like, the things that I think about while playing, the things that kind of like implications, they're not spelled out explicitly. So it's things like when you hear a log, or you see the kind of like the visual storytelling of, they kind of like have a body and then they have some things next to the body, or things like that. Things like that are scary to me. So I think about things like, so they were, actually they were getting cosmetic surgery and they were splicing themselves, and that's terrifying, and all that kind of thing. But actually, like, boo scares, I can't think of any. It was more just kind of like, oh shit, I'm being swamped. I'm being swamped by spider splicers. I mean,
spider splicers.
They're kind of creepy,
bastards.
But I was actually kind of happy to see them, because I got the thing where you can use their hearts as med kits. So the second I got that, I was very happy that they showed up.
Huh. I don't remember getting something like that, but I do remember using their hearts as med kits, and I'm like, why do I have this? And it's like I pick it up, it's a med kit. I'm like, are you serious?
Think you
push it against my chest, or do I eat it?
Yeah.
It's a research
for pictures. Yeah, I definitely did a lot of picture taking.
Absolutely. The second I got the camera, the first thing I did was research everything I could. And I had enough film that I could literally... I know I'm going to get a C+ on this. I'm still going to take the photo because it's just a bit more of the bar.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I mean, the camera to me slows the action down a bit. I do like the fact that it's functional as a bonus, but I don't like that you have to take the picture, and then if you take multiple pictures, you'll kind of level it up, and then, because, I mean, if I had the one picture, and I was an A, I don't want to do it again. I'm done. I want to just shoot the guy now. Not with this, but with this.
I agree completely, but I'm thinking, just in terms of the perks, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to do this as quickly as possible, so...
Yeah.
Snap, 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 shoot.
I would run up on the Big Daddy.
Yeah, knocks you away.
Literally doing that. Yeah, literally doing that.
Yeah. Hey, little girl! Click!
It's quite creepy when you think about it, isn't it? Running like, come on, little girl, I need to take a photo of you. It will improve my chances. Big Daddy just punches you away. I did like the fact when you go near the Big Daddies, they just like knock you away. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, go away, bird. Well, in that case, there's a couple of scares that I really enjoyed because I thought they were well done. And one is in the medical area. One of the first ones you encounter, I think it's like the dentist's office, or maybe it's just like a surgery room or something like that. But you're walking in like this. It's a room. You have like a central wall that just sort of divides two areas of the room, and you can go like in a circle around formation. But you come in this way, and you can go here and look this way, or you can go here and look this way. But when you're looking this way, you see like a cabinet of medicine. And when you do that, sort of like a mist kind of falls, and it completely blocks your vision. And when you snap out of it, you're turned around, and there's a doctor right in front of you, a splicer doctor like right in front of you.
Yes.
And it's like, ah! That gets me, like, it really got me the first time, because I was like, I was looking at the wall. Why am I, oh God, and I just blew that guy away. But the second one that I thought was really, really good was way later in the game, in like the apartments, where you find like a room. Was it Sander Cohen? No, yeah, it was Sander Cohen's section, where you find a room with like mannequins, white mannequins.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
kind of like, these guys are probably gonna come out and whatever, and then you go through and do your thing, you come back, and they're still there. It's like, oh, they're just mannequins. That's cool. And I don't remember what where that goes next, but there's a point where it's like the mannequins are gone, and then you have white mannequin splicer mutants running around, and you have to kill them, and it's like, oh shit, those were the mannequins. They were just like watching me. That's so creepy. Like, to me, like, it got me. I was like, damn, that was good. There's some moments like that.
Yeah, there were.
I thought that was really fun. Really good
it's
stuff.
definitely, out of all of them, it's the creepier of all the three games they've made so far. I think they're making another sequel. It's called Parkside, I think. But there's not really been anything really announced with it. But Bioshock 1's definitely one that's got the more horror elements in it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That, and like when you go into, I think, the second area, I don't remember exactly what it's called. It might be the beginning part of Fontaine's Fisheries, or whichever. But there was like crates of Bibles and crucifixes and stuff, like somebody smuggling religion.
Contraband.
Yeah, that shit was like, they crucified the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whoa.
That's what I mean. Those little kind of nuggets you find in the background that actually kind of have these larger implications are really interesting. I think it's such an immersive world. It's
it is. It's great. Like the world, I'd love them to make anything else with Rapture again, because Rapture is just really fun. It's really good.
And thank you,
I've been
Chris,
reading
for
a lot
letting
of
us take a trip back there.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll do. Well, my next choice will be Bioshock 1 again.
just don't pick Bioshock 2.
Well, I remember not hating it. I don't think it lit my world on fire, but I also remember not hating it. So
it's coming.
I think for being handled by a completely different team, it wasn't impossibly bad.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. It's just lots of being lied to. don't really like. Oh, the big sister can attack you at any moment. No, she can't. It's only when I clear an area of little sisters that she attacks. So I can plan for it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, you can't plan for it because it's random. They made it sound like the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. And it wasn't. Because Nemesis really did feel very random a lot of the time.
Yeah, especially
sometimes
first couple
you
times through, you had no idea. It's going to just boom through the wall.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time he appears. You go, run through the door. Oh, okay, I'm safe. Camera changes, you hear the door open and close. What the fuck was that? And then just, and he just sprints after you. The scariest thing.
And then he gets
I thought I was safe.
Then he gets a rocket launcher. It's like, are you fucking mental? How are you going to be able to do this?
I'm supposed to be safe through... They're not supposed to have projectiles, and I'm supposed to be safe when I go through the door.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 3 just went, nope. Fuck you.
That was great.
I want to play Resident Evil 3 again.
That was like a well-executed subversion to gameplay dynamics, because Resident Evil 1 and 2 both had the safe behind the door thing, and 3 is like, you know what? That's something they use all the time. Fuck them. Let's get Nemesis in.
It made you feel vulnerable all the time. You're like, I just don't feel safe at all.
Yeah.
But you're really on edge, and it was
like
great.
You're waiting for the safe room, for him to just barge into the safe room, like the one safe space you're supposed to have, and he just busts in there too. Oh no!
Could you imagine? Come on! I'm typing.
Once upon a time, there was the zombies, and then everyone was zombies. Oh no! A nemesis.
And then Jill was zombie.
And then Jill was zombie.
I don't know if we've ever made this joke on the podcast before, but I've definitely thought it. In that, if you're going to write down what you're doing as the typewriter to save your progress, you'd write like, and I had 1,000,000 Magnum rounds.
And I killed all the zombies. Perfect headshot.
Yes.
Don't listen to Chris. He's full of shit.
It's like Harry's notes in Silent Hill 1 as well. He saves with a notepad as well, so you'd think he'd just write like, and then I found Cheryl.
The
end.
And then there she is.
Yeah.
This place is weird. Maybe that'll help someone when they come in. This place off. Thank you very much, Harry.
Yeah, I know it's weird.
Oh, Harry's nuts.
I do miss those days though on Silent Hill forum, like everyone just sort of like theory crafting and speculating and just like enjoying the universe and setting of the Silent Hill games. Until like Silent Hill Homecoming came out and disappointed everybody and downpoured it and did much better.
Yeah, and let's not forget the month of Silent Hill. That was a few years ago when Downpour came out. Downpour was painfully average.
Yeah.
Silent Hill HD Collection was a buggy mess because it was they used the code of an unfinished version.
Yep.
And Book of Memories
yeah.
was delayed. But that was probably the best thing about the month of Silent Hill was the fact that it didn't come out then.
I have that, and it's not as bad as I think people thought it was, but it definitely isn't a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. A lot of people just like, hey, it'd be fun if it wasn't Silent Hill. Silent Hill should never be a dungeon crawler Diablo-esque game.
Yeah, but it had, like, if you liked anything about Silent Hill, it was all in there. Every monster, every character, every weapon, every accessory, and, like, even the story, which is very sparse, but it still had most of the themes you would experience from a Silent Hill story. So, I'm reluctant to say it's a terrible game. It just wasn't the right kind of game.
It's a fan game. That's what it is. It feels like a fan game.
I'd have to find it,
like
but there's a very
Bros.
funny video online of dramatic readings of the comments on the Book of Memories video. Don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't seen that.
I'll have to find the link and put it in the description. It's amazing. Me and my brother still quote it occasionally.
Wait, no, I might have seen it then. If your brother's seen it as well.
Yeah,
but it might have been. It was a long Book of Lost Memories.
Because obviously there are lots of misspelled kind of like angry comments and stuff, and lots of hate directed at Tom Hullett, which arguably,
poor Tom.
Yeah, poor Tom. Every time I see him, I kind of like, I saw a guy trying to make everyone really excited about like really bad directions for the series to go in.
It's like he's a guy that just didn't get it.
Yeah,
he tried so hard that he just didn't understand.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, and in Book of Lost Memories, there's going to be a big guy with a massive knife, which I know you all love. It's like, what? No, you don't get it.
I think that's I think that's the video that all these comments were under that they then dramatically reread. So I'll find the link for that.
Yeah,
But
he's
anyway.
like the stepfather who means well but just can't quite connect with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just makes you just like, oh, Tom, come on, man.
Matt, I've just checked the archives because it's been so long, and it is actually your choice next.
Good thing I got something picked out. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, what was it called?
It's called.
Was it Bioshock 2?
No.
It was Bioshock
MOOTANT.
2, wasn't it?
MOOTANT. Das Raum im All.
Bioshock 2.
Fuck off. I have a few things in mind. So is it really horror? I suppose it is. We could go a bit Lynchian, couldn't we? Yeah, fuck it, why not? I'm gonna pick Lost Highway.
Oh, yes.
Oh! Yay!
I've been looking for an excuse to rewatch Lost Highway for a very long time.
This is a great movie. It's a film I've seen a couple of times, so I'm already...
I've never seen it, but I own the soundtrack to it.
Oh, it's great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
David Bowie, Rammstein. Oh.
Marilyn Manson, I think, as well.
Yeah, it's got Nine Inch Nails on it as well. Perfect
Nine
choice.
Inch Nails.
No, it's got Tool. That's what it is.
Yes, it's an interesting soundtrack. It's a mental movie, and I love it. I've been looking for an excuse to watch it, and I think there's horror themes in it.
Oh, I mean, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes in particular. There's the one scene with the homemade videotape that he sent is chilling. It's fucking frightening because there's just no music, and it's just watching the static, like really crap quality, like VHS like camcorder, and it's just great.
There's lots of room for theorising as well, which I loved Bioshock, but there's not an awful lot of room for that. So it's really nice to have something we can kind of argue the toss about what it means.
Oh yeah. Doesn't have. Do you have the date on it? You bastards.
It's 97.
It's like mid 90s at least, probably like 95. I mean, because I was.
Oh no, it's probably later actually. It's probably like 98,
so.
99.
I know. Yeah, I think so. So it might be earlier than that. I'm not sure. Might be like you might be right with 96, because it's one that I always feel like, because a lot of Lynch's work, influenced the Silent Hill games. Everyone knows that. That's always one in particular I think really did. Just something about the way it's just so dreamlike and nightmarish at times.
1997.
There you go.
Yeah.
97?
Yeah, 97.
So maybe I'm right, or maybe I'm full of shit. Who knows?
We'll
find out together.
The soundtrack itself was produced by Trent Reznor too. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it'd be different. Gotta pick something good for once. Can't always be Italian trash.
Oh no, what was it? The Beyond still sticks with me. I still think about that movie.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
That's one I might. I kind of had a bit of a splurge with Arrow movies, and I really like them as a distributor.
Yeah, they're good.
I really like them. They had a thing where they did 5 movies over the summer in one night, and I really wanted to go, but I couldn't. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was. They had, what was it? Was it Prince Charles Cinema? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the movies was Nightmare City, which is not a good movie. It's not a good movie. I don't care what they say. They're like, oh, it's a classic Italian song. It's not a good movie. It's just not. The ending will make you angry. The ending will make you want to punch things. It will make you want to punch the director.
Ooh, okay.
Where is he?
It is literally a case of, why did you do that to me? Why did you waste my time so?
The problem is that just intrigues me. Maybe I'm glad for punishment.
It's literally one of the things people joke about.
Snake.
Hurt me more.
More Italian movies. More
I remember
Snake.
this pain.
It's like, hey, Matt, do you remember that Italian movie?
More snake.
The medicine.
Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. Oh, no. It's terrible.
Beat your head on the floor. Gang, gang.
Yeah, I would do that to rid my memory of Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. It's bad. It's got nothing to do with zombie. None of them have got anything to do with each other. All the Zombie Flesh Eater movies, all the zombie movies have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
At all. They just have zombies in them. One of them just barely has zombies. It's Now I'm just talking about
That's false advertising.
Italian horror again.
Yeah, it's just an example of brand marketing, though.
It's called
they
Zombie.
make it a sequel, even if it isn't, and it'll probably sell more, even if it's like one more.
Yeah. Oh, zombie.
Anyway.
Zombie.
Until then, we will go away and watch Lost Highway.
Yes.
I recommend maybe watch it in the dark with
with some friends, get some dips and crisps and stuff.
yeah, get some
fun.
very loud
some crispy
Ramstein
dips.
playing in the background
Yeah.
and strobe lights.
Make sure you're sober when you watch it.
It's
Even
break out
alcohol
the
will mess
mead.
with your head if you watch it.
it's a dark movie. I wrote an essay on it in film studies at college because college was an explosion for me of like all this shit that I'd never seen before. I got into Silent Hill when I was like 15, 16, and then I left school, and then all of this stuff that influenced Silent Hill, and obviously David Lynch is way up there with that. So Lost Highway just reminds me of that time in my life as well. It's good.
That's it. It's a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
Plug in my own show.
Bill Pullman as well. Bill Pullman is great.
Yes, and I was always like Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to see Bill Pullman. Second time he'll be on the cast. Because he was in The Grudge, wasn't
Yes, he was.
Yes.
he? For a couple of
For a
minutes.
couple of minutes.
Yeah. Then his career
coming, Bill.
fell or something.
Yeah, he was
So
like,
he's-
"Oh, I'm in
he's-
The Grudge. Better jump out the window."
Yeah. I don't want to be here for long.
David, save me. He just rewatched Lost Highway for like the third time. He's like, I still just don't get it.
Oh yeah,
Like
there'd
I've
be
only
lots of
seen
theories.
one. I've only seen one Lynch movie, and that was Mulholland Drive. And that was it.
Okay.
And that one.
I'm trying to work out in my head whether this one plays a bit more like. I'm trying to decide which one makes more
Straight.
sense to a casual viewer. It's hard to tell.
Because Mulholland
Probably
Drive had
Mulholland
moments
Drive.
where the parents were like tiny and walking under a door frame to yell at the daughter who was trying to be an actress or something, and then there was a point where like there's a cowboy and he's like, and if you see me again, this means something, and I'm like trying to find him throughout the rest of the movie. You know,
It's like fucking cowboy.
Yeah, I'll find him. I know he's there, and it will mean something. It'll turn everything on its head. But no, it seemed like
makes
that
sense.
one was just like a weird like fever dream with like a hint of lesbianism and something. Yeah, it's just a weird movie. So I don't know what to expect from Lost Highway, except I won't expect it.
I will say there's a bit kind of in the middle of Lost Highway where things will very like things will be kind of sort of making sense up to a point, and then bam, we're kind of like some lightning will happen, and when that happens,
Yeah, you won't expect it.
Yeah, just go with
Yeah, I
it.
won't.
Just
I will.
yeah, just go with it.
It just happens.
Just go with it. Yeah. Here, just take some acid. It's fine.
Yeah.
We've all
Yes.
done it.
Yeah, I've never done anything like that, but from what people have told me, that part of the movie is what I imagine it's like.
Yeah.
It's like everything has changed.
Who let
How's
the
that get
Smurf
hit?
into this movie? What?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we better wrap this up. So, until then, enjoy Lost Highway. We'll be back here to talk about it next time with our beautiful faces. Until then, Matt hopefully has got a video coming out soon.
Yes.
Excellent. He's working on that. Hopefully, it'll be live by the time you hear this.
Fucking
Is this
hope
how you
so.
Vogue? I don't know. Whatever.
Chris, you have a new channel, don't you? That you're working on?
Yeah, I do. There's nothing on it yet. I said it was going to be September.
That's
It's
okay.
September.
I've been sat here for a year saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
know.
by the time
it's an
this comes out,
inspiration
maybe
to
you have.
not do that. So I would like to, but I'll be working on it immediately after this cast, and it's called the Clock Face, and it's going to be a Let's Play video game channel that you've seen everywhere else, but it'll be with me.
It'd be cool.
So,
It's Chris's.
Maybe that'd be fun for you.
Yeah,
it.
and all the links will be down below as well. So
Yes.
check those out.
Thank you.
And until next time, would you kindly finish the podcast? This episode of Spoilers of the Damned was hosted by Axton10_61, Madicus Finch, and Garlips. To find out about us, as well as join the discussion on our Discord, check out all the links in the description below. Please feel free to leave a review or rate us on your podcast app of choice.